Zahen is the new champ.
Oh, did that just get announced like right now?
It was a leak from
Oh, like
today at 2:30.
the LOL leaks, whatever they're called,
Yeah,
or the League of
he
Leaks.
looks literally like a carbon copy of Galio, but whatever. Who cares?
Any like does it say what is I'm assuming mid laner.
Uh, would have said. I honestly already clicked off.
Yeah. Probably for the better. Wait whenever it actually comes out, gets announced,
I'm
then I'll
now
find out.
on. If you ever feel stupid, just remember Riot hasn't made a KDA comeback for more than 5 years, despite the fact that it peaked LoL popularity in 2018.
And K-pop Demon Hunters is at its peak now as well,
Yeah,
with the #1 song in the world. So fun times if you're a fan of
yeah.
if you're a fan of dropping the
You're.
ball.
I mean, you're right. You're
Oh,
right.
I don't like what you sent. I don't like that.
What that,
I don't like that.
dude? It's uncomfortably good, right?
I don't like it at all. Couldn't couldn't catch me owning one of those anytime soon.
Yeah, it's pretty real.
It's 2025. I need to make sure the YouTube link is the right one. Now it
I
is.
love Twitter, bro. It's so undefeated.
In what way this time?
Pacers posted a video announcing Mac McClung, and it was an AI video. And the top response is a single mother of three's faucet just stopped working because an NBA team's official social media page wanted to use an AI video for Mac McClung.
Jesus.
Like they were just making a joke about how, artists are losing money or whatever, editors. So crazy.
Then none did.
Dude, have you ever seen that Clarity Zed Clarity remix for George Pickens?
Pickens, have you seen the ODJ one or OBJ one?
No.
The OBJ one's insane. It's one of the best edits I've ever seen. I cannot honestly think of anything better in terms of NFL edits.
Be my Clarity. Here you
Uh,
go. I'm telling you, bro, this edit though killed me, dude. So good. Just for 5 seconds.
hang on, let me see this.
I love George Pickens so much.
All right, I got the tweet out about the podcast. Everything's live on the thing here. Let me load up the dashboard. OBS
All right, give that
docs.
16 seconds. It'll be worth your time.
I will. I will. Let me shift this over. Trying to make sure I can read chat during this podcast.
It's totally a repost of the original. I can't find it though.
Of course you can't because you're not on TikTok.
Yep.
Let me make sure I don't blast the eardrums of anybody listening to this right now. Hold up. There we go.
Still fighting, I don't know why. If I love this tragedy, I'll give you my remedy. If I
Yep.
love insanity,
They're just so good, bro.
The OBJ one's honestly, it's like full HD.
Is
It's
it
like,
super good?
yeah, it's insane. It's
I'm
absolute.
looking it up.
I think I saw one for Daniel Jones too, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, the dash. Thank you for the resub. 11 months.
OBJ Zed Clarity edit.
Yep. I'm sure you'll find it pretty quick. TikTok editors are just like on a whole different level. I could probably find it here in 2 seconds. Here, let me search. I'll send it to
I
you.
typed OBJ and it wouldn't pull it up, so I did the Odell catch clarity edit. Okay. Bro, that is sick.
Okay, I got it. 400. Wait, are you watching the one with 450k likes?
No. Send it.
I just sent it to you.
Okay. Ah,
Still fighting, I
And
don't
this will
know.
be-
yes. Bro, that's crazy. That one's so much.
I know.
How's that so good?
I know.
Oh. Dude, TikTok might be the ultimate like NFL scape. I may download it just for NFL
Dude,
stuff.
I'm telling you, NFL or NBA, like the edits on TikTok are insane. Especially like last night, like the edits that I got just from the fucking Freddie Freeman homer yesterday were insane.
Mhm.
In 8 hours. In 8 hours, it's like, dude, how? How are we doing this?
Dude, honestly, I won't lie. They were killing it during the Halliburton run.
Oh yeah.
They would post stuff of Halliburton, I'd be like, bro, this is nuts.
Yep.
Like, they would find some crazy songs to put to the backdrop of him saying the one item he'd take on the island is the Bible, and then he shoots a three from like mid-court, it goes in, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, he's so nuts. Like, those videos are crazy. It'd be so funny too, because he's talking about the Bible, and then they're showing him doing the nuts hanging celebration that he got fined a ton of money for.
Yep.
I was like, that's so funny.
I love everything about it. I really do.
Those edits are killer. Dude, honestly, I'm in nervous territory now as a Colts fan.
Why?
Like, we're in like the hope is getting a little high. Like I'm in the same exact spot you were in last year.
Yeah.
Like with the Vikings, where I know, like in my heart of hearts, I know this team probably isn't gonna make the Super Bowl, you know?
Yep.
Like I just know they probably won't. But it's hard not to believe with the way they're playing. It's so hard not to think they could.
The biggest thing is I think Daniel Jones is just genuinely a better quarterback than Sam Darnold is.
Is
And
he?
that yes, I do. He's got a playoff win. How many playoff wins does Sam Darnold have?
I guess it's true.
And that was always my thing with him is I didn't have faith that we'd be able to get it done in the prime. And
Mhm.
Daniel Jones, I think, with a good team around him and good coaching staff, and I'll tell you what, your owner's winning over a lot of people. She's winning
She
over a
is.
lot of people real fucking quick.
Some
I
are saying the training weights are off, and she's been given full reign, and she's going ham.
I like her quote that she gave during an interview of like, my job as an owner is to protect my $1 million investments. And part of that is coaching. And how am I going to know whether a play, like if I'm watching from the sidelines and I don't have an understanding of whether a play has gone wrong because of a receiver running a bad route or a coach making a bad call on the route. If I don't know that difference, how am I supposed to make the right choice when firing or hiring players? And that's millions of dollars and a chance at a Super Bowl. I'm like, fuck, she got it. She's good. Like she's better than 90% of the owners in this league already. Like already she gets it.
And she doesn't have Jim making like kind of crazy comments to players and doing weird deals.
Yep.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, I think, well, also she has been doing this forever, but I think if it was her way, we would have paid JT a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I think she would have paid JT. Like, Jim wanted to be stubborn and do things the old football way, you know?
Yep.
Because he brought him in there and was like, listen, he told like JT this weird speech about how he was like, football doesn't need me or you to continue on and all this stuff. And it was like, bro, can you stop saying all this to him and just pay him money and get a QB? Like, that's all you have to do. We've all been saying that for so long in this state, and then all they did was go get a QB, and look what happened. Like, they could have done it. Like, honestly, the fact we didn't offer anything for Lamar when Lamar was up for grabs, like not really up for grabs, but kind of up for grabs, is crazy. We should have offered the whole farm.
Should have.
And then we get DJ and we're totally good. And we got him for free, which is nice because we wasted a third pick in the draft.
You know what else is going to be free?
So,
Quad.
what? Oh, quad. I thought you were about to say tickets to LCS next year.
That too. That too. Yep. You know.
Because we suck now.
Bro, what happened? I feel like the guy, the Eagles fan that, was all, he's like, woo, woo.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
Oh, you need to
Holy
look
shit.
at the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
popped up on my side. Sanford, thank you for the
Okay.
$10 super chat. Thank you for all you do. I know it's a lot of work. Hey, I appreciate it. I do. I promise. So I got a nice little reveal that I'll be able to show you all a little bit further at the end of this podcast with a TikTok that will also be going out on it shortly after the podcast is done. But speaking of what did we do, we did nothing but lose after we talked last.
Yeah.
We didn't win a game. We didn't win a single game after the last time we talked.
Well, 100 Thieves doesn't deserve much like criticism. I think they
I
did exactly what you're gonna do on the road that they got. But Flyquest, that was a tough performance. I mean, some's broke in their brains. I don't know what happened. Clearly, they all completely lost faith in each other and the game. I mean, really, it's not too surprising they tilted off the face of the planet because they're a team of tilters.
Yeah.
Like, if they're not winning, then they're kind of mentally falling apart. But it kind of is what it is. I mean, they completely blew up.
So
And that roster, I don't know how the heck they keep it together.
my question is where, like, let's just rip the Band-Aid off now. Where do you go? What do you do? Like, what? You're the GM of Flyquest. You're not even GM. You're Papa Smithy right now. Okay. You know your pieces going into next year that you have. Let me see. LCS Global Contract Database. I just want to make sure I have like the exact right people on here. Which I wonder if they've updated the global contract. No, it's still America's for this. That's fantastic. All right, for Flyquest, the only two starting pieces that you have, or three, the only three starting pieces that you have retained through next year are Quad, our Masu, and our Gakkos. That's all you got to work with.
Cooked.
Where do you go? What's your play?
If that's all I think you keep, well, if you're them, you gotta keep Busio and Masu, I think. You're doing everything in your power to convince Inspired to stay. And then, I mean, I guess they're cutting Quad because they don't see value in him.
They don't have
I would
to?
assume they offer Quid if they're cutting Quad. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's really an upgrade above Quad that's available other than Quid.
I'll just say this. If you want to keep
I don't think Quad's great. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
but I think he's
this World's performance soured me on like, and I don't want to say as follows the stereotypical timeline, but it's kind of true. Like, it's the year 2 Korean fall off. Happens with a lot of them.
yeah.
Like the first year in North America, they play pretty well, pretty decent. End of that second year, go straight down the toilet.
I mean, he's also just not. Quad's never been like that dominating.
No.
I mean, we saw it when Jensen was on Flyquest too. Like, you didn't need a mid who was really doing crazy stuff to win with how good that roster was. And I mean, obviously he's a slight upgrade above Jensen, but I don't think he was like this dominating force against every other NA mid. I think he would do his job. He would get you through the games, and that was about it. He had somewhere he carried, of course, because you're gonna have games you carry when you're on the number 1 team in the league. but I think everybody clearly saw him as the fifth best player on that team until Masu just started nosediving in quality to try to beat him out as the worst player on Flyquest. And Masu, honestly, I don't know if he's safe with the way Papa Smithy views that team.
I mean, it's a great question. Starting from the top though, would you change coaching staff at all?
I guess.
They got
I
Nuke
mean, I
Duck
don't
and
know
Miffy.
really.
That's who they got.
I don't know where you go with coaching if you get rid of them. Like, who are you?
I have no good answer. All I know is for
I guess
me,
Golden Glue?
Golden Glue is available. But like, I don't know. I look at a decline like that, and without being in the locker room, knowing that you have like some toxic players there,
Hmm.
it's either coaching staff or inspired. Like in terms of
Yeah.
who you
Oh,
keep.
for who you keep
Yeah,
or get rid of?
it's one of the two. Like
Hmm.
you have to blow something up. This roster cannot remain like this organization as it stands right now cannot go into next year like this. They've hit their ceiling. They're never going to hit it again. Like
Yeah.
they are never going to stand a chance against the East. It's crumbled. It's done. So
Hmm.
if you keep inspired, you probably have to change coaching staff and you probably have to change quad. If you keep coaching staff, you potentially keep quad, but you lose inspired guaranteed. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because like you said, I don't know what coaching you can bring it. Like that's the problem with super rosters like this failing. Is now we're all left sitting here as a region being like, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you right now, going
It's
into next
true.
year, like if I'm like the problem is 100 Thieves are splitting up. Like off the rip, see, like if we're way too early power rankings for 2026 without knowing a single roster around, Cloud9's number one immediately.
Yeah.
Cloud9 won. If 100 Thieves majority stays together, which we know that won't happen, they would have been two, and Flyquest would be further down. But like,
Yeah.
I have zero clue what you do as Flyquest now at all.
I think as FlyQuest, you do exactly what you just said of you needed to figure out is it inspired the problem or coaching? And then we already know that like Whippo became probably more of a distraction than he's worth by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And you just need some separation there. You need to see if if Inspired is such a tilter that it's becoming an issue because we all know he's the most talented jungler. And the problem is Inspired's the type of guy, it's exactly like TSM getting rid of double lift, you know?
Nope.
You know you could be getting rid of a guy who goes somewhere else in NA. Like let's say, Shopify really decides to blow some money here and they get Quid and Inspired and they like get really crazy and you have Fudge Inspired Quid and then their bot lane. but you have that top side is like good enough to get you through
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, B-Boy, honestly, the way he was playing at the end of the year wasn't the problem. He was more the solution. So you would be a pretty good team. I mean, you could get rid of Seos and replace him with a support you think is slightly better, and you would have a honestly dominating team. Like, I mean, it would be a crazy jump, and I'm not saying Shopify does that, but that's my example because we know they're in the Quid sweepstakes.
Yeah.
And so if they cut them, all of a sudden you're turning Shopify into this. At that point, I would think Shopify would be the favorite of the league. If they had Quid and Inspired,
Yeah.
with the pieces they had, the fact they were top 3, like you all of a sudden become number 1. Unless C9 makes a crazy pickup or something.
I don't know. Look, I don't want to be too mean about why am I giving a shit on this? Why am I trying to mince feelings or words or anything. I didn't care for Nuke Duck when he was the coach of 100 Thieves. And
Hmm.
I have not overall been impressed with how Flyquest hits their ceilings in with him as coach there either. Like, I know a lot of people were hyped, like, because this roster was good by all means. I'm not trying to say that them winning titles in, Split 2 this year, in Split 3 this year, in summer of last year, but like, it's not like they were clear cut best team in the league other than summer this year.
Hmm.
Beyond like Team Liquid, okay, spring I think finals like that was like right at like the peak of things, but it still collapsed internationally. Last year, the year where everybody hyped them up, they nearly lost to Team Liquid at Worlds. And that final was fairly competitive the entire time, even though obviously, Flyquest wins it on the minion ending it all thing.
Yeah.
But like Team Liquid was close with them the entire time, which is good. Like I'm happy that Team Liquid is pushing them. But like I never got the sense that like I don't know, the coaching staff over at Flyquest made them like that much better. And now when we need them to step up most and help the squad hit their next level, their peak point, they can never get there. Like Jab pointing out the fact that like G2 is the only team that ever stood a chance against the East from the West, despite us viewing Flyquest in a very positive way, ain't great. It ain't great.
No, and it's true. I mean, somehow we just I don't know what it is. FlyQuest got a lot of love for doing very little on the beating the East front. I mean, they pushed teams to game fives, which I guess excited people a lot. But in the reality of like actually winning or anything like tangible, they didn't do a ton in that front.
No, because I mean, I'll go back to last year. We were hyped about them pushing Gen.G to 5 games. And I remember people at
Yeah,
the time, I think it was Ali specifically on Twitter, was like, bro, this is the same shit that always happens. We get close, but it never gets the job done. And I made the argument that I felt like at the time that was closer than we'd gotten in a bit. And it's a great
it
stepping.
was.
It felt like a great stepping stone where it's like, okay, if that's step one, and you build from there, we got
Hmm.
something that we're working with. And the
Yep.
problem was they never once built from that point.
Nope.
Ever. Like from
They
like
regressed really hard.
yeah, it was entire regression other than smacking up on domestic opponents, which unfortunately C9 dropped the ball this year. 100 Thieves had their issues in the middle of the split until Dokla finally came in and turned them around a little bit, which I know you can't control that if you're Flyquest in this situation. Obviously, like how other people are doing is out of your hands. But like they still like I don't know. I get the league got worse around them, but let's be honest. What happened at Worlds this year is not the league around you getting worse.
Hmm.
Because we saw 100 Thieves step up when they needed to most and play better than we were all, and quite honestly, outperform Flyquest at this Worlds.
Yep.
I have zero problem, and if anybody disagrees with me, fine, but I see it this way. 100 Thieves had the best North American performance at Worlds. I feel very confident in saying that. So now where do we go? Like,
Ye-
everything's in a fucking state of limbo. Like, this is the exact thing that we didn't want. Where it's like, okay, great. We got the LCS back next year. Awesome. Let's build some hype and momentum into it. Flyquest fucking implodes. 100 Thieves, the other team at Worlds, ceases to exist and is not going to be there next year. We have C9 is hype with Dom coming in. I think that's exciting. And that's like the one through line. But beyond that, it's like,
And honestly, I think the C9 Dom thing is exciting for a semi at this point niche audience of
yeah.
LCS. It's like Dom isn't really like as huge as he used to be, you know? That's not like going to I don't think it's even close to the level of hype that LS going to C9 was.
Agreed.
And like selling point wise. And I guess that is a little bit disparaging, but I don't mean it to be that disparaging. But it's just not like a huge needle mover of intrigue for me, and it's not like C9 is. I don't know. They didn't change a whole lot other than they added Dom and they promoted Inero, who
And they're
already
probably
was
gonna
on staff.
and they're probably gonna change ADC,
Yeah,
assuming
which
Sven
I
goes to that
think
SK roster.
isn't. Yeah, which isn't the worst thing you could do. Unless it's somebody. Well, the problem is they have to do it with a native, and I don't know how good
I don't know.
any of our like tier 2 ADCs really are, because Tactical was running through tier 2. So
Unless you want to grab like Sahid.
yeah, Sahid would be interesting, but who knows how good he is, because let's
Yeah.
be real, one, C9 has no patience for a guy like that. If he struggles at all like Scary Jerry did, he's completely cooked off the jump.
Yep.
And two, like, where do they go from there? Do they go to Scary Jerry then after Sahid if he sucks?
FBI.
Yeah, like FBI, I guess.
I mean, FBI fills a very similar role to what Sven was.
Hmm.
Like I see them kind of identical
Are all
manners.
the import rules staying the same
Yeah, I would assume
for
so.
North and South?
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, who knows where they look? I mean, it really is. Who knows?
It's scary. It's a very scary time. Is how I would say it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just hoping we would leave this Worlds with more optimism than we do. And now I'm just like I'm scared.
Yeah, everyone wanted answers, and the answers are not coming,
No.
sadly.
And then the Team Liquid stuff, not gonna lie, pissed me off a little bit today.
What was the Team Liquid stuff?
They're coming to New York. They're doing a
Oh, they are?
Team Liquid, like the organization is traveling. They're doing like a meet and greet in Seoul right now, and then they're gonna do stuff in Paris, Germany, France, or Paris, Germany, the Netherlands, and then New York. They're here the week before Thanksgiving. And I checked out the itinerary, and no League of Legends players, pros, creators are set to be here that week.
So
All
what are they doing
Valorant
here?
and Smash. It's an
Oh, it's
org-wide
just-
Team Liquid thing. It's not just like League of Legends. It's like the entire org. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, Worlds is going to be here next year. There's no chance it doesn't come to New York. Worlds is going to be here. Lay the groundwork. I'll help you. Like, you have me here to help you promote this shit and make sure that people get there. Like, really? Not the one time, the one stop you have in North America, you don't try and bring the league guys here. It just pisses me off. It doesn't, because they don't know who's on the list. Guess what? UG, Core JJ, and Yawn are all doing the one in Seoul. So
That's brutal.
it's not like the other locations aren't getting some form of League of Legends. And then in the one, I think in the Netherlands, there's a show match between like Team Lorlo and Team Broxa for League of Legends. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Now you're coming to New York. We get fuck all. I'm like, oh, you're
And
killing
they
me.
did a EU one.
Yeah, you're killing me. Hang on, let me pull this up because it legitimately pissed me off when I saw it. And like I tried to be nice on the tweet, being like, hey, you could still technically like make it work. But okay, so the one in Seoul, they're having play against the League of Legends Pro, Core JJ, Yawn, and Umti are all going to be there. So Umti's actually doing this in partnership with Team Liquid, which is great. And they're having a watch party for the semifinals of Worlds. That's fun.
Nice.
That's this weekend. London is all FC. Earn your spot in our League of Legends show match. So like there's league stuff with Broxa and Lorlo and a league show match on the one day. And then there's a watch party for Worlds Finals on November 9th. So doing a watch party there, great. Munich the week afterwards, Rainbow Six, like it's all Rainbow Six for that one. And then for us, it's Smash and Valorant, which I get. Like you have other teams, but like I don't know. It to me, if this is your Team Liquid, hey, we're going around the world type thing, like you should have all of your like as much of your esports represented as you possibly can in these places. I don't find it like as a North American fan that's looking to find a team and I see that you're coming to New York and coming to my home and you're not involving League of Legends in that, regardless of whether it's the offseason or not, pisses me off. It does.
I agree with that.
I'm annoyed to shit. The pros don't even have to, the worst part is like the London one, the pros don't have to be there. That's what you have creators and other people around the org for, but like you still need to make some sort of League of Legends hub.
Yeah. I mean, it's brutal for you too, because yeah, you can't even like support them.
I know.
Really.
To Nox's point, he's like, okay, well, you know, Broxel lives in the UK. Lorlo might be there as well, and then obviously the guys are in Korea boot camping. If you're telling me that you don't have a single League of Legends creator in the United States that can go to this meet and greet, you fucking failed.
Yeah.
You failed. Like, I'm sorry. There's no excuse for that. You're a North American org, and you're telling me you can't have a North American creator or somebody there, like publicly announce that like we can promote this and have fun with it in the New York. Oh no, fuck off. That straight up pissed me off.
Yeah. It's also crazy to be like, ah, well, you know, they're all boot camping. It's like, okay, for the 8 billionth time, they're boot camping. You know what they did last year? They boot camped. You know what they did this year? They went to one singular international event. One, and they did terrible.
And they got there and they finished last.
Like maybe, you know, at some point we go, hey, maybe we need to be on the entertainment side of the product, and we need to quit trying so hard to be the winning side.
And if you're going to be on the entertainment side, be on the entertainment side in the fucking region where you are playing.
Yeah.
Why does London get it and we get nothing? Like, make that make sense to me. I can't. I can't. These orgs don't fucking get it. They really don't. There's no pride in North America, and it pisses me the fuck off.
Yep.
Like, we have so many people now, like, that I've tried talking about, like, I've noticed in the comment section of all my Worlds videos, like, this week, even though there was some talk about, like, Flyquest, people were like, no, I'm, like, the time zone is terrible now. I'm really not going to watch all that much Worlds. I don't blame them. Like, I'm not watching the games live anymore, but I'm still catching, like, the VODs and watching the content afterwards. But it's obviously not the same when a North American team is in it. But, like,
yeah,
now's when you got to lay the groundwork. And you got to activate with people and try and, like, grow this. This region, man, it eats me alive. It slowly eats me alive.
You would think now is when you would lay the groundwork, but why would you do that when you can just not lay the groundwork?
No, and the worst part is the announcement for you know exactly what's going to happen. All these orgs, if they were smart, have known that like Worlds is going to be here in North America for Worlds next year, and know there are going to be some hot spots that things are going to be at. You would have like. What's going to happen is they are all just going to wait until Worlds next year or when the league starts and be like, hey, we're going to start activating now. And it's like, no, you need to start activating earlier. That's the whole point. So then whenever the big moments come, you reap the rewards of it. That's how this works. And they just don't get it. And I'm annoyed. That's like David ranting about North America not getting representation from North American orgs. Color me surprised.
But there is good news to this.
What's that?
Is that it's completely cooked in the sense of we suck. We know we suck. LA isn't really that great a place to play the games, maybe they'll start road showing. And then through the fact they road show, they'll eventually have to come to New York City. So the players, even though, they won't do it in the off season, they go to Korea instead, which is probably fun for them. I get it. Uh, they will come to New York when they absolutely have to. At some point, maybe, probably not. But we can imagine they might. And that's the good news.
It was the worst job you've ever had of delivering good news. Hey, way, shape, or form. What the fuck was that?
Well, as someone
Like,
who has a job in the army that has slowly been getting rid of, I've gotten very used to receiving that style of news where they go, this is probably what you'll be doing, but not really. In a very real sense, you won't ever do that. But maybe. And then they walk away. And that's pretty much what you have to hit people with American League of Legends, doing events outside of LA that aren't really finals. I mean, finals was good. That was a road show. That was nice. And it seems like they did a great job, and all the people we know who went in the
yeah,
Discord
really liked
said
it.
they had a great time. And building off that momentum, what we're going to do is stop that momentum. That's how we're going to feed it. We're going to kind of slow down to pick back up.
Dude, I'm. I don't know.
I mean, it is crazy because this Worlds has been like really fun games and everyone's loving it. And then at the same time, I read everybody always puts after the Korean games, they'll be like, man, we need more international league. And I'm like, I don't know though. I think if our what is it, league wants to live, I think we're gonna have to actually focus on
Yeah.
our league a little bit.
Yeah, because
These
if you have more,
international
we're
events
just gonna
are
get our ass
killer.
beat. Oh, dude, we're just gonna get our
Yeah.
ass beat, and it's gonna feel bad. And that's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, more international events where we go and we do this, and it's like
Yeah.
we really got to focus on ourselves for a bit and like come out better on the other side.
And the
And
4 events we did this year is like none of them were good for this region, I think.
we
The
finished.
health of this region.
How do we finish at MSI? So we finished last at first stand.
Hmm.
We finished.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so
While you look, I can
Yep.
still hear you.
reading all these for everybody. We finished last at first stand. At I mean, Grant, we didn't have a second team at MSI because of the whole Furia Flyquest thing. Flyquest finished even with CTBC Flying Oyster. Like we beat G2 and then immediately got smacked afterwards. Was it a 3-0? No, it was a 3-2 BLG. So we again took them close. But BLG was once again not in hindsight like they get smacked 3-0 by AL. So it's not like it was like again, you got to be able to beat those lesser Asian teams, and we were not able to get it done. So, and then Worlds, I mean, 100 Thieves finishes just barely behind Flyquest, who fails to get out of Swiss, and first time since 2022 that we don't have a team out of Swiss. And I'd say that's a failure of a year. I'd say it's an absolute failure of a year for North America. We lost viewership domestically. People didn't give a shit about the product domestically. Our lone shining light that we had from this tournament was Dokla. From this year. Let me say this year. The lone shining light that we had from this year was Dokla. And that's a wild statement to come out of my mouth.
I mean, it's kind of true.
It is. No, it's entirely true. Dokla,
Yeah.
I'd imagine, I would love for somebody to stat check this. I'd imagine the Dokla videos probably came close to the entire amount of upvotes and comments that were had on LCS matches or like post-match threads. All split. Or like close. Like I just feel like the engagement on those was insane relative to everything else. But if you exclude the Blippo drama and like anything subsequently related to that.
Yeah, I mean,
Just a fucking
I can
miserable year.
totally. Yeah,
Okay.
I think you are right.
Too early prediction. Does next year get better? I need a better or worse than this year. Next year for NA. Knowing that we have 2 teams at MSI and 3 teams at Worlds.
Does next year get better for NA?
Is next year for North America better than this year? And just know our track record at Worlds on home soil is atrocious. Like, we are so historically bad at Worlds in our own country.
I would say better just because we can't get worse, really. And with Swiss, and we get another seed. So I would think it would be better.
Worlds 2016, for context, Cloud9 notably did make it out. All right, so Cloud9 wasn't bad. How did they do in that one match that they got out? Let me just double check so that I'm making sure that I'm speaking from the right point of view. So Cloud9 did finish top 8, but Cloud9 in that matchup got 3-0 by Samsung Galaxy. So we weren't even competitive at all. And beyond that, TSM, obviously that was the year the TSM collapse. Didn't make it out with the super team there. CLG doesn't make it out because Albus Nox Luna gets out.
Mm-hmm.
So we historically have not played well on our home soil. I'm terrified we're going to do it again. Like, I just want people to understand. Worlds 2022 was the worst North America had ever performed in an international tournament, period. Ever.
That's tough.
We won no matches in week 1. None. Imagine that would be the equivalent next year of us starting off, like, the draw somehow working out, but we start off that first week with 1 North American team eliminated already. Possibly 2, depending on the match. 2 eliminated and 1 has to move on by proxy. So we would have 1 team left in Swiss stage because the other 2 would be knocked out 0-2.
Yeah, that would be a problem. That'd be a real problem.
So is your bet better or worse? You got to put hard money on it right now.
I would say we do. I mean, if I have to guess, we probably do better. I just think better because the amount that I don't see how it can get much worse. I don't know.
That's going to be one hell of a clip. That's going to be one hell. Okay, so obviously first stand,
sure it will be, to be
first
honest.
stand can't get worse. Well, actually, first stand could get worse because now there's 6 teams at first stand, so we could finish behind Brazil. But I doubt that's going to happen. So, like, worst case scenarios, we finish behind both Europe and the LCP. Entirely possible. MSI, we could finish MSI worse. We beat Europe this time at MSI. We could lose to Europe next time. That's doable. So, like, MSI could go worse. Worlds, hard to picture that one going worse.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I think it's kind of almost like slightly point. Well, the only thing I would say that would make Worlds worse for me is if we have no teams really engaging with Worlds. That would be unfortunate.
I mean, Dokla hopefully is on a team and can be the shining light of it. Stop judging years by Con, we can judge them separately. I'm allowed to ask the fucking question about international without, like, that. I'm going to get to that side of it. Let me just have the international conversation. Fucking chill.
I mean, yeah, we know. We're pretty it's apparent that this isn't working as us being international at this point. But really, it's just about how do we utilize like worlds coming here to build the region up.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, it looks like League in NA is just moving more international at the rate things go. And I hate to say it could keep getting worse if EU keeps taking NA people.
I mean, that's yeah. We gotta like this off season's gonna be interesting. Although I have seen the tone shift on Inspired.
Has it?
Sounds like he's probably gonna stay in NA. If like Arsh and his
Really?
baiting and like other people on Twitter like just talking about it are to be believed, it sounds like he's probably gonna stay here.
Why?
Don't know. Couldn't tell you. Obviously,
Okay.
he's not gonna say shit. Quid, I think, is the big question. If we lose Quid, I think that's a massive yikes.
Yeah.
Anywhere but K Corp. We losing the K Corp, we're so fucked. Like,
I mean,
dude, they're
that'd be
they're
pretty-
so active every day.
It'd be kind of cool, but that's just me.
I'm not saying it's not cool. I'm saying it stings because you're not going to be able to replace Quid immediately. Like it's going to take
Yeah.
time. We could obviously find somebody that's hopefully as skilled as he is, but it's going to take time to build him up. It took time to build Quid up, so to lose him now would kind of suck. We're losing Sven likely. I can't really think of anybody else that we might be losing. I mean, it sounds like Core JJ is still going to be playing. But I don't know.
I think it would be very fun to gain
No.
Quid for K Corp for my purposes, but I understand for you that wouldn't be fun at all.
I know. I mean, it also doesn't help that I got to find a team now.
That is fun for me to watch somebody else do it for once in a while. It's been a while since you've had to do it.
5 years is
And I've been
5 years is
having-
not all that long.
Yeah, but I've been really getting put through the ringer. So I'm happy to have a home for a little bit. Also pretty hilarious that I dropped all that stuff about how, I was sitting there going, "Oh, are we really gonna keep rocking with Palafox? Should we get rid of Palafox?" I was even saying it to people within the Shopify org who probably they don't have power over that, but they were probably a little uncomfortable with how much I was saying it to their face. and then he's gone. And me being the person I am, I obviously respected his position, and I didn't push him very hard. I never do. I did not ask him for Quid off the bat right away. I did not even try to infer the idea that maybe a 6-man roster here would work with keeping Palafox, because he's such a great guy that we should keep him on the roster, but Quid in the starting position would be a good option in that 6-man idea. And it's looking like things are moving that way. So I think I've done my job the way I need to do it.
Yeah. This is weird because normally around this time I have a public push for what I want to see from the rosters and how I want to have a program be built for the following year and things that I just want to see the organization do. And this is the first year that I'm looking at it from the sidelines being like, I feel like I have all this pent up energy that like I want to talk about the off season and like help somebody build something, but I feel like I have no foot in any door, so I can't say shit. Like nothing I say
Fair.
technically matters. Like why would I want to build up a program that I'm not going to be like a part of in any way or like not be invested in some way, shape, or form?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, every fucking org that I've looked at has given me it's one step forward, one step back with all of them.
Yeah.
Like going down the list over the last few weeks, because like honestly, Lion and C9 are kind of out. Lion because all their shit's in Spanish, and I'm sorry, no hablo español bueno. Not gonna happen.
That was pretty smooth though.
That's the only thing I know how to say in Spanish. C9 for obvious reasons is a no. So then you look at like the newcomers with Sentinels, and it's like, okay, their early content's good. You'd be starting from scratch with them. Like they have the history with P1, but it's not really the same. So like you're actually coming in and starting fresh. But then Rob Moore, the owner, goes out and is like, you know, we're assuming seriously like trying to blackball people for starting like sleep esports style rumors in the industry. And I'm like, bro, no, let's not do that. I also don't trust their financial state all that much,
Who?
even if Sentinels.
Oh, Sen.
Yeah, I don't trust Sen's the financial state at the moment. On top of that, like they did say that they were going to do a 2-year plan, which hey, if they do, kudos to them. Like they're acknowledging that now, but interesting. Team Liquid, I'm not gonna lie, I already vented enough about the New York shit. That just straight up pissed me off. Like that shook me to like that is so core to what I want from all this shit. And you come to New York, I'm not going back into it. I'll spend another 10 minutes ranting about it if I start talking about it again. So that was like again, one step forward for TL. They've been engaging trying to get Quid. I like that. That's a real good positive. One step back with the New York shit. Then on top, then who else is there? I did like the Dignitas Jonathan move. I genuinely think that's good. Now, do I buy in with the Dignitas branding at all? No, I don't at all. I just like that individual move. Shopify. There's enough of you guys that like Shopify. I don't want to be a Shopify fan. Plus,
That's crazy work. What if we get Quid?
So what do you get Quid? They're supposed to be the Toronto team.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
It's a big deal to me. And the fact that
Yeah,
like your headquarters in Toronto, everything's like up there. You already got creators with Ludwig and Charlie. That it's like, you know, what voice do I have within like that pillar? Am I able to
They
carve?
say
my
they're
niche?
the Toronto team, but are they?
They say they want
Are
to
they?
be. That they want to host like
Yeah.
watch parties in their headquarters and shit like that. So if they do, like, good for them. They should. We need a Canada team. It ain't gonna be me spearheading that. No chance. Who else? Is that it? I feel like I missed somebody.
Yeah, that's-
Oh, I'm not doing Disguise.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not a DSG guy.
I like Toast, but like I don't know. The low you know sketch drawing type stuff, like Disguise himself is very chill. Like it just doesn't seem like a cultural fit to me.
Yeah.
The culture within the fandom's not like it's like OTK style people. It's just not it's not sportsy enough for me. So I guess honestly that kind of makes the short list to a certain, because like that's what shot or not shot. That's no to Lion, no to C9, no to DSG, TL Sentinels. What else am I missing? TL Sentinels, Dig. Shopify. What other team am I missing? Why am I missing one? C9.
You already.
No, I'm missing one. That's only 7 out of 8.
Okay, go again.
Okay. It was excluding C9, Lion, DSG. Then you have, in terms of potential, Team Liquid, Sentinels, Shopify, Dig.
Lion? Or did you already say Lion?
Lion's excluded. It was C9, Lion, DSG that were excluded.
TL, Shopify, Dig, Sen. Is the other team that bad we just don't know who they are? / we don't care? Well, wait. TL, Shopify, Sen, Dig, right?
Flyquest.
Dude.
Flyquest. Oh, fuck.
How are they? They're so good that we just don't know who they are? Are we stupid?
Flyquest.
We just spent an hour talking about them. Are we stupid? I've spent way too much of this being Sam keeps sending me texts of walking pads and going, "Do you like this walking pad?" So then I have to look over at my other monitor and read a review and go, "Yeah, that's a fine walking pad." That I have spent so much time doing that I now know all these brands, WellFit, uh, this garbage, Super Run, Not Real. What's this other one? Foldable, like Trisomy. These aren't real brands.
Yeah.
And I can't remember a real one in Flyquest. The one who wins the league. Not once, but twice.
In a row.
Actually, 3 times, really.
Three out of 4. Yeah. 3 out of 4.
Wow. But
Okay,
I
and
think it also
you
goes
want
to the fact.
you want the positive and negative of FlyQuest? The positive, they're decent and are willing to have decent rosters. The negative, do I trust with everything ongoing?
I also would say, from a perspective of us talking about teams we would cheer for, it's not insane we forgot about FlyQuest. Because I
No,
don't think either of us would ever cheer for FlyQuest.
not at the moment.
Because we
No.
were here for the times that FlyQuest was pretty much irrelevant for a very long time. So
The Snickers FlyQuest, yeah, I remember.
yeah,
Or was it
there
Snickers?
was a
Or was it something else? There was a chocolate bar of some capacity that they were
it was
associated
probably
with.
Snickers. I
It
don't
had
know.
to have been.
I do remember also the time they went back-to-back finals, and it felt like it did not matter at all, like to their brand or anything. It was like, okay, that happened.
My thing that scares me with FlyQuest, to be honest with you, is, and I say this with respect to the people that are day to day that I talk to, like Carly. Carly, their apparel, the girl that does all their apparel stuff, love her. And some of the people within the marketing department, love them. The Ovaly shit scares me.
Oh, the stuff she
Whatever
hasn't
she got under
dropped or whatever.
NDA. Yeah, whatever she's got under NDA, the handling of the Blippo thing, I really don't like. And I don't know if I told you this. Or I think I might have told you this like somewhere else, but I got a message from 2 of the FlyQuest fans here in New York. And they messaged me saying, "Hey, I don't want to reveal their private information, but basically they're saying they're not going to support FlyQuest next year.
Wow.
They don't like what's happened with the brand, and wherever I pick, they want to follow with me, and they want like because they're assuming that they said we hope that you're able to set up like a New York section of fandom for whatever org you pick, and we want to rep a New York team. Like we want this New York thing to like actually come to fruition." And I was like, I can't promise you that any org would be willing to let me do that. Like regardless of who I pick in general, which to be clear for those that need the timeline, I'm not picking until April. My logic is I should be able to pick the team that I should have like a clear feeling over the course of 6 months now to be able to say who I want.
No, look at Coco's bed.
Oh yeah,
No,
no,
look
it's
at
yeah, it's
Coco's
upside down. I know.
Babe, are you talking about possibly picking a team in the future?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it in April of next year. I'm setting the date or the
Do you
month.
have an idea of who?
I've got a short list of 5 teams, but from there it's whoever over the next 6 months impresses me, and whoever has like a content style that I like, and
Nice.
go from there. And then if they're the biggest thing is I want whatever org I pick, I want to try and talk to them and see if they would let me set up a New York chapter of their fandom.
Yeah,
Hi, Con.
I think those are all the important things that
You.
you're gonna have to do. And if I'm being honest,
Who's you?
tell you on my team, I think Shopify would be very interested in a New York chapter.
No, I'm dead serious when I say I think they would be too. And as for Lion, like I saw somebody say the like Lion has tacos. First and foremost, I can't handle spicy shit Okay, flaming hot Doritos.
Look how red
I
I am
can't.
because I just got a really hot shower.
And I know this is America, so this is probably a no, but can you not catch a train from New York to Toronto?
Not quickly. No, you catch a flight
Oh my gosh.
or drive.
Oh my gosh.
Brutal.
I do have a friend from
Brutal.
Toronto though. One of my best friends in the city, Nick Chan. He's from Toronto. He's been begging me to go out there.
There you go. It sounds to me like you're becoming a Shopify fan. And this is
That
becoming a
does not
Shopify
sound like that at
fancast.
all.
Maybe I think you want to become a Cloud9 fan.
Oh. Oh. Ew.
Ew.
Ew. Oh, if he became a C9 fan, I think I would tell Dave, you get more viewers doing call-in shows. Put your time to that, and we can just call this
I'm
quits.
kidding. I'm joking because I know he's literally the opposite of Cloud9. I'm kidding, everyone.
Yeah. I wouldn't even want to
Usually I
risk
support
the
him,
fact
man.
they could win.
Usually I support Emily on stream, but tonight I'm kidding. Bye, guys.
Oh.
Flyquest, baby. Is that a team?
Flyquest is a team.
Well,
Is that a team you?
Knox is right. They have a New York team. It might be
They do, but
so
they're
bad
god-awful. They're
that they had to
Did you
rewrite.
support them?
They had to write an apology form on Twitter to bring fans back, but they do have a New York team.
Yep. It's terrible. Like their COD team. It's the great thing about this is like, regardless of what happens there, I'm an Optic fan first and foremost. And our
Yep.
team this year is like power ranked first in every poll. And C9 or New York C9, I think they might have taken the New York out of it at this point. They are dead last. Dead, like
Oh, I'm sure.
bottom of the tier list, like gonna be shit this year. It's gonna be hilarious. Again, another year of them being bad. And another year of G2 doing more watch parties in New York for their COD team than C9
Typical.
does. So, yeah.
Typical.
Anyways, we want to talk Worlds. We've been going for an hour already. We might want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit of, the tournament that we're also watching right now. Given that the next time we talk, the finals teams are going to be decided already.
Yep. I mean,
My question to you.
I was a little.
I was going to ask you a question to start because I want this to be like the
Yes.
segue. Did today convince you that that Gen G is going to win it all?
It made me feel a lot more comfortable in the idea because I think that they're ramping up against teams that they're more comfortable with. And I kind of like that. I know the counter is like that they're not being pushed as hard, more than likely, or they're not seeing different things. But if we're being real, if Hanwha wasn't playing Gen G, they'd probably be favored against whoever else they're playing. They just happen to be playing Gen G.
Would they? You think they'd be favored over top? Well, I guess, yeah, they probably would be favored over top.
Top, yeah. I think they'd be favored over KT, CFO, G2.
Yeah, I think CFO and G2, I think for understandable reasons, we can all kind of exclude them from the comparison. Just because like they're the two clear oddball teams out.
I think with the way T1's playing right now, they'd be favored over T1. Not by the majority fandom,
Yeah.
because there's more T1 fans. But I think like Vegas odds, they would be.
I think that's fair. I think it's fair.
And then AL, that would be my one question mark.
I know a
'Cause
lot
people
of
are really hyping up AL.
I mean, they look good. Look at the teams that they beat in Swiss
They
stage.
do look good.
Like, I know I saw today a lot of people were upset with how, this matchup is in quarterfinals. And I look, I agree to a certain extent. But at the same time, Gen G was supposed to go 3-0. If Gen G goes 3-0, guess what? This matchup doesn't happen. So, like, in my opinion, the only teams that you can sit here and blame are Gen G and Homo Life for not going 3-0. The fact that you let KT, I mean, granted, obviously they had harder matchups. Like, Gen G faces what? AL, wasn't it? I think yeah, it was Gen G AL. You got to win that. Simply
Well-
put, you got to win that.
No, Genji didn't face AL, was
Who
it?
was it? Genji or Hamo Life that faced AL? One of the two in that second round matchup faced AL.
Oh, it was Genji. Yep.
Yeah, you got to win that.
Yep.
You win that, you're 3-0,
Yeah.
and this whole bracket's different. I get it's a best
Yeah.
of one, and we can sit here and have the debate. Like, and I'm sure we will get into the format conversations here shortly. But like, you win that, you go 3-0. Congrats. Our presumed number one team actually goes into the bracket stage as a number one seed. But because they're
Yeah.
not, it leads to this funky situation. Like, win your fucking games.
It is tough because power rankings, these are the two top teams in them. Like,
Yeah.
or in the power ranking.
Yeah.
I know the power ranking isn't the most sacred of things, but the power ranking is Gen G, Hanwha, T1. So you are a little surprised when those two play right off the bat. I mean, it's just how it is.
But that's Gen G's
I also
fault.
don't understand really how the power rankings function at all because KT is like 10th in it.
Because they've taken the whole year. And a few series at
Yeah.
Worlds is not enough to move the needle.
Well, also just KT was 3rd in LCK, but
They were.
they're way
Yeah,
back there.
for this split, but where were they prior to that? Weren't they like 4th or
Yeah,
5th
I'm
at
not
best?
saying they had a great year. It's just crazy how like backloaded these power rankings are.
Oh, no, I agree. But I will say this. I also think it is, I guess we'll get into this now a little bit. I do think it's a byproduct of the format for Swiss being kind of ass. Not Swiss itself. To be
Yeah.
very clear, I enjoy Swiss stage. I like it better than the old group stage. But there's no world where we should be having best of ones. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that I
We-
agree.
We are too far on in LoL esports to be having best of ones.
It's also, can we just stop with the stupidness of trying to prop up the West so we can make it interesting? Like,
Yes.
KT under G2 and Flyquest makes no sense to me.
No.
Like, if you want to put them above Billy or BLG at this point, sure. Like, BLG sucks right now. But at some point, can we just use these power rankings to be fun like college football or something at least? Like, we don't have to make them this actual mathematical equation thing that doesn't even really make sense when they say it's math intensive
Yep.
power rankings because it's like, okay, whatever. But
The problem is it doesn't matter.
I
If these power rankings had actual purpose and meaning to them, then I think there would be more human intervention. Like they would have more of a committee that would help decide on these teams and actually rank them from there. Because you're very much reliant then on like those rankings being proper. Versus now it just being a number, it doesn't really matter. Like it's just a number on a page, like, ooh, this goes up and down. It doesn't decide anything at all. So it's like, I get why they don't invest much into it for now. But if we were in an ideal world next year, we go into it and you properly seed the 16 teams at World based on global power rankings. And you rank all of them. Or at least you rank like the teams at Worlds at minimum. The second all the teams qualify, you have a panel you have a committee that comes together, and the committee lays out their in order 16 teams, and then from there, those 16 teams get put into their 4 groups, and we draw them accordingly. You do the four pools. The pool 1 plays the pool 4. Pool 2 plays pool 3, and that's your 1 through 4 faces your 12 through 16. And we understand that the first round, the best of 3s in Swiss, should be blowouts. For the most part, barring like that 8 and 9 and 10 versus 7 matchup, it should be blowouts.
Yeah.
And from there, like, awesome. Like, once you go from there, if you want to seed all of it, you could. I don't think it's the best. I think that reduces too much entertainment from it. But from there, then guess what? Your 1-0 matchup, assuming it's all best of 3, guess what? You got best of 3s amongst the top 8 teams in the world. And if somebody causes an upset, they should rightfully be there.
Yep.
But at minimum,
because really,
go ahead.
There should be. I'm not gonna lie with Swiss, the way it is, it almost shouldn't be random, and it should just be like you need to be tailoring it as tight as you can. You want the randomness to be very little, because if you let the randomness play too much into it, you're getting these like just not great matchups. And I mean, really, this will be fine, right? Our quarters matchups, they're all pretty good. I mean, but some of them are a little wonky. I mean, if we're being real here, Hanwha Genji could be a finals matchup
Could be. Yeah.
in some worlds. And at the same time, we're gonna have a top G2 day where I'm just like, is that really that good? But no bracket can be perfect, and I get that. It's just that Swiss, and I should focus on Swiss, not the results of what it got to quarters, even though it plays into that. But some of this was whack. Like Flyquest had an insane road to get out. Like if you're talking about ease of getting out,
Yep.
that's kind of nuts. They got that rewarded.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for being, I get in a number one, we have to treat them as a pool one team, but do we really at this point? We know we've watched enough League of Legends to know that they don't need to be treated as a pool one team anymore.
Weirdly enough, I don't think Flyquest is actually the like that first round draw. They drew T1. If we were if we had a committee come together,
Yeah,
what?
What was that song dogs went out?
that would
Whenever
be, I
got
guess,
home
yeah,
at
what they would get.
7:45.
One of them peed like a lot.
Okay, I don't know. Uh,
That
I
would
mean,
be probably somewhere in the ballpark. I
it
see
would
what
have
you
been
mean.
possible. Like 100 Thieves versus BLG,
Yeah.
absolutely would have happened. Like without a doubt. Now, would 100 Thieves have beat BLG in a best of 3? I don't know. That I don't know because we don't take series off the East. So it's like we win games, we don't take series. So for me, again, I understand it's going to increase the amount of days, but we have shown with the final day of Swiss stage as well as at MSI, we can handle 3 best of 3s in one day. So if you have I'm trying to think. If you have 3 best of 3s, like
I think you're right.
total number of games,
Sitting on
like
it. Yeah.
you add, it would take us what? It would take us 2 days to get through that first match or through the first stage, right?
Mhm.
Or no, 3. It would take us 2.5 because there's going to be there's 8 matches, and if you can do 3 a day, you have 1, 2, and then after the third day or midway through the third day, you have a draw. And that's where the draw gets complicated, where like maybe you do 3-3-2 draw, 3-3-2 draw, and maybe you just keep doing that over and over again. Because then it's what? Yeah, because I'm just trying to think of the amount of days that you would have to add. It would probably be like 5 or 6 days extra if you do full best of 3. Which honestly, I think is fine if you're not going to have play-in stage.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I can see where you're going with that.
Maybe just eliminate. I mean, can we eliminate play-in stage? Like that single matchup? Do we need it?
I mean, they're gonna want to keep it or else they'll have to take away one world spot, I guess.
Well, I guess we also have to do something. Oh my God, Luna!
And really 2, because they're gonna have to take the promise away that
Also-
they gave in A, that they're gonna get 3 again.
Well, there's also going to be 1 additional team now because of Brazil.
Yep.
So you have the battle of the 4 seed. So you have the extra. You have 8 from there. You cannot send links in their storm, but I don't know. Either way, play-in stage we can get through quick, but we just got to find a way to get to full best of 3s. We can't have best of 1s at Worlds. I'm sorry. That's my biggest gripe. I just think that fucks with it way too much, and especially in a world where we're watching Fearless. Dude, those best of 1s felt like shit. Watching pretty much the same drafts play out over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't like it. But I'm curious, where do your thoughts lie on the the double round robin, single round robin? Have you been swayed in any particular way since last time we talked about?
I I mean, I'm still more of a fan of like one Elam. I don't love double Elam or single Elam. I'm more of a single Elam guy, but that I always have been. Like, I think once you add in best ofs, even though with League, I get it's a little different because you're doing the whole best of in a day. Um, Once you add in best ofs, I don't think you need the double Elam anymore that much. I mean, single Elam is good enough for a ton of sports,
Yeah.
like an insane amount of sports. Even though basketball, I get it, there's day breaks. Baseball, there's day breaks. But college basketball, it's been a staple forever. And unless you're just a stubborn human being, you don't sit there and say the wrong team won every single year. Like, it's totally fine. In the NFL football, are we supposed to all sit here and go every year? We don't know who the real champion was because of one game. I mean, in football, it's even crazier. There's one game.
One game, yeah.
That's it. You have to win your one game. Like, I mean, college football is even more wild. But in college football, the 12 team playoff, you have to win your one game 3 times, and that's all you get. And you have a different opponent every game.
Yeah.
You don't get all this, like, fancy schmancy second chances where somebody comes in and goes, "Oh, that wasn't fair because you didn't show up today." You either show up or you don't. And that's kind of just how it is. And I know people hate that. They really want to see like loser bracket people run through, which is so ironic. They want to see the losers bracket win. It's like, goodness, they're the losers. Like, you're just giving them free chances. It's kind of insane. I get there's no patch. Well, there's patches in football all the time, dude.
Okay.
You go read a rule book for the NFL
I saw this in YouTube.
and look at all the changes.
I love this comic because it's one of my favorite things that I see. Vermin said, and I'm curious to know your thoughts. If we care about accurate standings, double elimination is better.
If we care about accurate standings,
I see that argument everywhere. Everywhere. That it
what do
is
you mean
more
if we care about accurate
it is
standings?
more that double elimination is more accurate for standings than single elimination is.
I actually don't think it's true though that double elim is more accurate because are you getting a better quality control check or would it be better if the team that so let's say T1 and Genji play, right?
Yep.
On the top side. So T1 Genji play, Genji beats T1, T1 goes to the losers bracket. Then T1 plays a new team, Genji is in finals. T1 plays that team, beats them, goes and plays Genji again. Now that they've played Genji again, technically, we need to see a third series happen between them, unless Genji wins that second one. Because at this point, we've gone through 2 best of 5s where they're even. We don't even know who the real winner is. We just know that on this day, this is the argument everyone has a problem with single elim, on this day, T1 was better than Genji, but 2 days ago, Genji was better than T1. And now we don't know who the actual better team is until we get a third one where we can then accurately assess who is the best team.
I think I agree. I just think there's a lot of people in the esports community, and you see this with people in life that are like, are you sure? Like there's this need to like double check everything. It's like, or we can believe the results as we see them. I get double elimination might change that. Some teams might have bad days. I like entirely agree that some teams will have bad days. But part of sports is showing up on the fucking day. On the day when it matters most. And miss me with the idea that single elim doesn't have more pressure than double elim. Miss me with that. I saw people say, "Oh, well, actually,
take Storms if they gave him a game. I would take it.
best of 7 if they give him a game. If you give a game and a best of 5, that feels like shit.
Yeah, but then it just keeps. We
I
always
know, but
keep
that's why
adding
then you're
some.
moving the. I
I
agree. I
know.
don't. I
Yes,
don't like the
I
idea of it.
know.
I think MSI you test it next year. Personally,
Yeah,
I think MSI is like the perfect testing ground for this argument, where you just say, "Hey, we're gonna do finals. We're doing best of 7. Winner gets a game,
Yep.
and we see how it feels because we have to test it somewhere, and that's the perfect
Yeah.
time." Or wait, is first stand double elimination or single elimination? First stands, LOL.
It was pretty short. I honestly don't
I thought
know.
it was single
That's a good
elim.
question.
Yeah, it's single elim, so we can't test it there. MSI is the only one that we have with that. Or you could test it in the domestic leagues to see how that feels. That might be the better way of doing it. Test it with like the LCK or somewhere else and just do a best of 7 with one game already rewarded to whoever it might be. Then we find out. But in general, I don't like. I'll be honest with you. Like as much as people hype up this MSI format for being amazing, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's good and it's fun. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I get the same level of thrill watching those double eliminate like the upper bracket matchups at MSI as I do for Worlds. Every single match at Worlds matters. All of them. Because they all have ripple effects. Like, you can effectively, like, the ripple effects feel way heavier at Worlds than they do at MSI. And especially once you get to that bracket, I'm sorry, but there is no higher stakes in this world than those 7 single elimination games.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah,
I love it.
I'm with you there, and I think it does. There is a part of me that's like, whoa, well, I do want to see if Hanwha could have made it farther. If they played somebody else, but it's also one of those things. Once you're out, you're just out. It's okay to have that story end there. That's totally fine, and then the winner goes on to win. If you lose to the winner, that does it suck you lost to them in quarters instead of semis or finals? Yes, absolutely it does. Does that change the health of the tourney? Not really to me.
Yeah.
Like what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to make teams constantly beat teams twice forever? And do we have to have a qualifier on every single game of League that's played ever?
We already have.
Do we have to keep writing all these different takes about how this game doesn't actually count?
I don't look. You and I are just very traditional sports pilled in that sense.
Yeah.
That we are. It's going to be very hard pressed to find a logic.
Okay, I get it in that argument
What?
that Fad is making. He said for the power rankings, the double elim is important because then we can make sure that the power rankings make sense. I could get it for that.
Sure, but like I'm not worried about the power. Like I'm sorry, like
that's where honestly the power rankings by numbers is stupid.
Exactly, and that's why I think you need a committee because a committee would come in here and say, "Hey, even though Hanwha Life lost to Gen G, I would still put them 4. I wouldn't just because they lose there and they're 8th doesn't mean that they're still not the 4th best team in the region."
I'm about to trigger half our audience, but it's a quality loss.
Yeah,
so they're
it
gonna
is.
stay. They could be number 2 by the end of the tournament because they're not losing anymore, and everyone who went above them will now lose to Gen G and will put them below Hanwha and move them back to 2. That's how it goes with a committee. We just quality lost them back up the power ranking.
That's where that human intervention comes in. It's a magical thing.
Yeah. It is. I mean, honestly, it's why AI misses a ton of things that humans hit on in relationships and with sales jobs,
Yep.
That's what you need some humans there for, is to be like, hey, that doesn't make sense at all. Numbers wise, yes, that would make sense, but in reality, no, that doesn't work.
Storm said, "Who cares about power rankings?" That's a very European thing to say. We give a lot of shit about our power rankings here in the United States.
Yeah,
Especially as
we-
college fans, we care a lot about our power rankings. It's part of the fun. It's our headlines are debating numbers over and over again. Like you tune into
yeah,
look, regardless of like there are certain college football matchups where you tune in and it's like, hey, you know what? Florida State's going to be fun whether the number's there or not. But having those little numbers next to that name means a hell of a lot. It might not seem like it, but it just it's so much fun. But media fluff, Jake, this is the thing that people need to understand. Media fluff is the entertainment part of this. And that's what makes it fun as well. It's not all just about the game on the Rift. Obviously, that's at its core and needs to be good. But the media fluff, the entertainment, the conversation, the debates, that's what makes sports go above and beyond just a fun thing to watch. It makes it a fun thing to talk about, which makes it culturally relevant.
yep.
And
it is like, it's a huge part of the politics too of the game that makes it fun a little bit. I mean, the politics of the game are annoying, but at the end of the day, there is a bit of fun in that. And with Worlds, there is a predetermined qualifier, so it's not like anybody isn't getting in who shouldn't be. Like, they actually have to play through these tournaments. It's just when you're at the thing and you're seeding, it would be nice if we could seed it a bit more accurately instead of going, we're going to put LEC number 1 and NA number 1 with the LPL and LCK number 1 in the same pool, because that's how we've done it forever. At some point we can be like, is the LCK and LPL number 2 better than the LEC NA number 1s? Probably.
Yep.
Should we be putting them above that? Probably. So it would just make sense to start doing that.
You know what? Here's my idea. Here's my pitch. All right. And then we have to preview the remaining matchups, and then I do got to go because I got to edit this TikTok and get it out about this announcement.
Fair.
I think to add weight and caliber, because we always talk about how like the broadcast crew feels like their power is diminishing, like their influence on the space and all that's kind of like not slipping, but like it's not the same as it used to be. The broadcast talent is the committee, and they're responsible for putting out weekly content throughout the duration of Worlds, in addition to like casting and everything else. Like I know it's a big ask, but like I think it increases their weight and responsibility on all this. They are the committee, and they decide, because you can't, I mean, maybe you involve some coaches, but the college football playoff committee doesn't have any coaches or players involved, right?
I don't think so. I think it's just ADs, like athletic directors.
Yeah. So what I would say is, and maybe you can involve GMs, but I don't fully trust GMs to also like, I don't know. The league is an entirely different space, obviously, but like, I think you make the role of the broadcast more important with that committee. And what that allows you to do is, if you have people with like shit opinions, or like as the committee votes come out and are public, etc., that affects how we view people that are on the broadcast. And like whether you can, especially come Worlds, you can be biased whenever, you know, you're talking about like, or when like Vedius is, you know, casting EU, or Kobe is casting North America. But like when it comes to these rankings, you need to be able to put your bias aside. It'll always be there a little bit, obviously, but you need to do your best to give it a fair ranking. I think that gives them a lot of power.
Does. I mean, you're right.
All pro. The thing though is like, Colin, all pro doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's a media like kind of faceless award. If we're using a committee to seed things for Worlds, they have a direct impact on Worlds itself. That's a whole other weight. And again, if people aren't doing it well, then you know what? It's time for new analysts. It's time for new broadcast talent that's able to come on and effectively not only communicate their opinions, but also also be able to do all that. It implies that every coach is watching every week. If you think that every athletic director that's voting for the college football committee is watching every single game, you're crazy.
Yeah.
They're not either. Like, there's no perfect system. You just have enough people in there to balance it out.
Yep.
So,
And to make points that need to be heard.
yep. You can't, like, that's the thing. It's like, I think people, like, this is my worry about AI in the esports space. I feel like people want things to be perfect, which is why people go with, like, this numbers route. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't want to go with the numbers route and you want to be more realistic, guess what? You need human intervention. You know what human intervention comes with? Biases that you have to deal with. So, Jamada's there. Jamada, question. Jamada, you want to hop in the call real quick? We got an idea that we want to run by you. If you hop in, I'll open this up. I got something I want to pitch to you. But until we get his answer, if he says yes or no, give me your predictions for the rest of quarters and then semis based on that.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go with the very interesting takes of Kate. Well, I'll come back to that one.
That changed real quick.
I'm gonna go top over G2. I'm gonna do AL over T1 to piss people off, and then AL over top. and then I'm gonna do. I do think KT over CFO.
Yeah.
And then Gen G over KT. And Chovy gets over his world's problems. That he's low-key kind of just being a passenger, but the fact that Keen and Ruler are so good just kind of lets it be.
Well, I hate to tell you
Canyon
this, but
kind of doesn't.
It's
I
been
don't know. Canyon's not looking.
It's been 3 years since
hot.
I watched T1 lose a best of 5. If you think that I'm picking them to lose a best of 5 now, you're crazy.
Good. Because that's part of why I'm picking against T1, so I need to keep hearing the people who
Yep.
believe in them keep believing. You all sounded worried at the beginning of the tourney, and that worried me. But now that you're all confident again, I feel more comfortable.
I'm not technically confident. I'm in the same spot that I was at the beginning of the tournament, but I just believe that for whatever reason, they just turn it on at this moment. And they did talk about being sick and having their own issues, but for whatever reason, sometimes you just get it, you get locked in and you go. And if T1 beats AL this Friday, there's here, Jamada, we're in a public Discord. I did this. Join any channel. I'll verify you, and once you're verified, you can hop straight into the live stream chat. There's no restrictions on it. But there's Jamada. Let me give him a roll. He's verified. All right, he's good to go, so he can join in whenever. Oh, look who it is.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How you doing?
I'm good, friend. How are you?
Not too bad. All right, I got something I want to run by you.
Sure.
Next year for Swiss, like both of us are under the same opinion that we want best of 3 fully, get rid of best of 1s. Like, period. That should be gone. Fearless, fine. Our solution, or at least the one that I'm championing, and Paul never really dissented, so I'm going to lump him in with this, is instead of the current polling system as we have it, you get this AWS power rankings is too numbers based. I'm not the biggest fan of it. You have a committee that goes in the second all the teams are locked and power ranks every team 1 to 16 college football style. And those teams then, like say 1 through 4, go pool 1. 12 through 16 or 13 through 16 go pull forward. You still allow for the draw, so there is some randomness to it, but it's actually properly seeded within that first round, which should, in theory, lead to better results, which then the 1-0 and 0-1 matchups are better seeded, and you then, in theory, work yourself towards a proper bracket based on proper seeding now that we've gotten rid of the randomness of best of 1s and the randomness of the draws by having the LCS and LEC up above some of the LCK teams.
Definitely better than what we have. I think right now, bottom line is we need some kind of more accurate seeding in Swiss. Your proposal is very, very uniquely American. I like it a lot. Or like tennis. I know they do something very similar in tennis as well, where I think they have the exact same thing where they all just sit around the table and just decide like who's rank 1, who's rank 2, who's rank 3, etc. I actually just think that the entirety of Swiss should be seeded, start to finish. I don't think there should be any draws. I'm actually even more extreme on this point.
Obviously, that is like a what the fuck happened? Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
My camera just like disconnected. I don't know if I kicked it by accident or some shit. I agree that's like obviously competitively better, but entertainment wise, it does take out like the big part, which is like the draws are a shit ton of fun.
The draws are fun, but then from round 2 with seeded Swiss, you just objectively get better matches consistently.
Oh, agreed.
Like you get more competitive matches consistently from round 2 onwards. That is it. It is immediately like higher quality games. Teams are not necessarily always going to be close together, but then the drama of like let's say in round 2, your seed 1 team loses to your seed 8 team, right? Or however the first round of seed ends up playing out. All of a sudden, like you've just got this disturbingly good team that sat in 1-1, right? Let's say for argument's sake, this year Gen G would have been given the seeds, because the way that I at least have it proposed would be 4 pools like we've typically had until this year. The 2 best performing regions, seed 1 and 2, go into pool 1. And then everything else is more or less laid out relatively even, with a little bit of MSI placement to kind of fix some inconsistencies with the seeds that are kind of not all equally proportioned.
Yeah.
So that you again get this kind of continuation of MSI, which they seem to want to do. Like they want to make MSI have more stakes, because there seems to be this community-ish narrative that MSI doesn't matter. And I think it's more by comparison of Worlds is such an important tournament that there is a large section of the community that seemingly pays very little mind to MSI unless their favorite team wins. Then the tournament.
Yeah,
that's how a lot of people seem to view MSI. So I think trying to give MSI even more importance is actually kind of a thing that works, at least in the context of what I've seen the decisions Riot make over the last few years. And then again, I just think you get more competitive games sooner, out of especially round 2, and then basically the further you go on, you kind of just separate the wheat from the chaff immediately. And for me, I'm there for that. Obviously, I know that people are very big on the entertainment value, and I'm obviously in a very unique position where I've been an analyst for 3.5 years. I was coaching before then. My mindset and skew is always going to be about just the best version of League of Legends, and unfortunately, I'm never going to be able to undo that. It doesn't mean I can't see the other side of the curtain of, like, some people just want to watch shit slinging, and that's fine. Like, that's totally okay. And you will still get that. And I think that's something that people seem to be very afraid of when people propose things like this, where it's like, well, like, all my entertainment is in the draws, all my entertainment is in the randomness. It's like, well, okay, sure. Like, you can, like, that would certainly be missed. But then would we miss things like, realistically, are KT a top 2 team in the world? Do they deserve to be given the advantages of a top 2 team in the world in top 8?
No.
Can anyone say that with a straight face?
No, and they got lucky
Right?
with, and I think everybody agrees that they got lucky with their draw. My bigger issue, I'm not, Kate, this would have not mattered anyways, but like, if you're Gen G and you're the number 1 team in the world, you need to beat AL. Like, this matchup in quarterfinals, I know everybody has a problem with, is solved if AL, the number 1 team in the world, plays like the number 1 team in the world. Unfortunately, in a best of 1, which is bullshit, but like that's that's the cards we're dealt right now.
Yeah. So like the best of 3 in Swiss always like definitely fixes that. To a degree, like sometimes teams will still just lose. Like that is the thing I think people need to get comfortable with. Like teams will still just lose. Like if they're having a bad day, or the other team is just having an exceptionally better day and they're relative to each other, yeah, like they'll lose that best of 3, bro. Like that's gonna happen. But I think there's this really weird. I don't know how to describe it really. Like people are really positioning themselves as like almost purists of worlds, but purely through the lens of an entertainment product, and not the world championship is the world championship. Where to most people, if you went and asked them what should the world championship represent, it should be the best teams playing against the best teams, and in a format which hopefully accurately always determines the best team present at that tournament.
I think a good example of where that divide is coming in, though, we just got done talking about it for a bit, is like the double elimination versus single elimination side of this,
Oh,
where
God, don't get me. No.
I'm assuming you're on the double elim side.
Yes, I am. I am.
Both of us are
Yeah.
very heavily on single elim.
Yeah.
Always,
Okay.
always have been. And I understand that in theory, your final results will better suit the power rankings as they are if it was double elimination. I get that. But for me, the feeling, and having watched MSI, and I will agree, MSI is a great tournament. It does the knockout or like the double elimination portion of MSI still does not compare to single elim for Worlds for me. It doesn't. The weight is heavier. Like the moment feels way bigger, partially and due to it being Worlds. Obviously, there's only so much we can do about that. That's how Riot set up the ecosystem. But part of it being, if you don't show up on the day, sorry, that's it. That's your life. Now, does that mean that Han was the 8th best team in the world? No, I'm not going to view them that way. Certain people will look at the standings and be like, oh, they were 8th. No, they're still, in my opinion, the third or fourth best team in this tournament. Without question. Them finishing or them losing in quarters doesn't change that. But I like the gravity of single elim. I always have. It's that's been. I wouldn't want double elimination for the NFL playoffs. I wouldn't want it for college basketball, for any of the other sports that I watch like that. I do not want double elim. There's a point that you get past where it's like, okay, how many times do we have to double check this? Like, just take it for what
There
it
are
is.
a lot of times that double elim just ends up the way the single elim bracket would have looked. Like even with this MSI, it was just a carbon copy of the single elim bracket anyways. Like we got back to the finals we had anyways in the upper bracket. So we could have just cut out all the fluff, really. Like there's a ton
Okay,
of
but
fluff games with double
how
elim.
would you have felt if T1 had actually won that game? Because they were in the position to do so, unlike the initial best of 5 to the best of 5
like
memory
shit
I'm
without
getting
a
of.
bracket reset.
Sure, but I think we all know realistically you don't get a bracket reset just through the
No,
logistics.
which is why we're ideally.
Yeah, are you saying
bet-
if T1 would have won the second series?
Yeah. Mhm.
I would have felt like we don't know who the winner is because now we're just left on this cliffhanger of we've had 2 best of 5s that both went the distance, and T1 was just the better team that day. So they kind of got lucky and it was their second try. Maybe they got to heat up, and I feel like it's kind of unfair to have another team sit there and not play while another team gets to figure out their identity.
Sure, I like the back end of the sentiment of what you said there, but then also I would push back on the first point of, well, what about the first day for Genji and T1 when they did play each other in the upper bracket finals? Was it just an unlucky day for T1 on that first day, right? Was it just Genji playing better specifically on that day, and then like, do you know what I mean? Again,
Could be.
assuming that
Yes,
but
that's what
that's what
I am
comes with
totally
sports.
cool saying, and that's the thing that usually I get countered on from double
Mhm.
elim people is I say like, hey, what happened that day is what happened. That's the reality we live in. But
Yeah.
usually people are like, well, is it fair to say T1 could have won that first one? Well, they didn't. And then the second one they don't win again, so now we've given them 2 cracks essentially at the same team, and they haven't. So I guess now we doubly know that they're the champion, but at the same time we could have just finished it from the jump for me. And I
Well,
think they
I
hold the
think
same weight.
I mean, I think again, it kind of depends, right? The big problem with League, and I'm not going to tangent too far, is like
Mhm.
many series are series of what if, Like it's just the story. It's just the story of League of Legends, right? Like AL could have beat T1 in their lower bracket final too, right? Like it could have been AL Gen G. We could have had an AL Gen G finals at MSI, and obviously AL Gen G also went to 5 games, also went 3-2 Gen G. I think it was in round 2. I don't think it was in round 1.
It was it was prior to winners finals they played.
Yeah. So then at that point, it's like, okay, for some people, does it feel the exact same? Like, is that the standard that we hold the double elim, like air quotes rematches in grand finals too? And also there are circumstances where you will end up seeing teams that, you know, don't play the upper bracket finalists at all. Like that is a possibility, by the way. Like I do want to make that clear. Like with inside of the format, that is a possibility. Now it's not super frequent, right? Like obviously, like a team that goes down into the lower bracket at round 2 in an 8-team format, the likelihood that they make it all the way to finals is not particularly high, right? Such as double elimination and its very cutthroat nature of truly seeding teams by their strength on the day once those elims roll around. But I think people really push this narrative particularly heavily, and it makes sense because it is something that happens more often than not. And again, I think that is nature of the format. The thing I would say though, for me, at least, and for other people that are double elim, at least from trying to keep it in my perspective and some of the perspective I've seen of who have brought perspective on my side of the argument, which I wasn't even thinking of, is that one, like those elimination bracket matchups in the lower bracket, what is it about those matchups prior to say the lower bracket finals that doesn't do it for you against single elimination? Because the stakes are the exact same. The only difference is those teams have already lost a best of 5, but they are effectively playing a single elimination bracket from that point on.
It's more of a feeling than anything. Like it's not like it's not a great way to explain it. I'm a very feel-oriented person. Something either just feels right or it doesn't. It's not the elimination games that feel bad. Like the elimination games, if anything, feel the best out of anything in this double elim part. It's every single upper bracket matchup that I can't get myself to ultimately care about because it's just a warm-up. Like even though it does matter because it obviously affects the further outcome of it, like I can't sit here and be like, this matters a lot to me if there's a possibility of it going on. Like the upsets, while they're great, ultimately for me, like coming from a Call of Duty background, like I've seen this for years, like Optic would always get upset on that first day on Friday before making the comeback later and like running through the losers bracket until they met FaZe later on. Like that just happened for years. And that loss just never, like it sucked, but you always knew that it's like, okay, we move on. Let's keep going. And that devalues a bit of it to me. Like in a world where we want every match to matter as much as it possibly can, that it does suck for me.
Sure, that's fair, and I can't undo that feeling, and no one really can for anyone that has that stance, right? But it's very difficult for me personally to take Worlds as seriously when Swiss is in the state it's in, and then the top 8 is in the state.
That I agree. I think everybody agrees with. Yeah.
The actual issue to me, like the reason why I bring up I'm a double elim Andy is more because double elim is kind of the simpler solution to actually getting a world championship tournament that on average, on a high average, should just give you the best team at that tournament every single time.
I would agree with that if it weren't for the fact that this is also like the logistics of Worlds are drastically different than the rest. And I'm not willing to sacrifice.
They're not.
The touring to different cities?
You could really get stuff done. Like depending on the location. Depending on the continent, you can move between places quickly.
I was just told that wasn't cost efficient.
If Swiss is fixed, would you be okay with single elim still, or do you just want double elim in general? If Swiss was fixed,
so this is what I'm saying. So if Swiss was fixed, then I think there's more credit to having
We're all on the same page
Singuelin.
then. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all.
But
Yeah.
I don't
I get
see
you.
because the thing to me is seeding Swiss and doing it appropriately. I think for Riot is too complex and too
Yeah.
a consistent
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? Like the discourse around it will always be
Yeah.
very, very contrived and very hotly debated. Because the only way, in my opinion, to do it fairly is like I suggested, in my opinion at least. Like,
Just full seeding
whatever,
all the way through.
Yeah.
everything I say is correct, right? But like full
Yeah.
seeding all the way through, have it be based on MSI, just simply for continuation's sake. And then I have a lot less of an issue with top 8. What I would then
Mhm.
also say is top 8 should probably be bracketed via the seeds too. It shouldn't be drawn. I know the draw. Like I know the draws are a very sacred thing for us, but I think if we're going to have the most cutthroat competition, then much like in a lot of those competitions too, the best seeds are awarded the best. Now it happens here, but you get it in a draw, right? And I don't think that just that slight difference in variance is enough to give
Yeah.
us, for example, the bracket that we have now, right? And I don't think that shouldn't be the best tournament in the world. Sorry, the best tournament of the year, rather.
I get
That shouldn't be what is being put on our plates, in my opinion.
I agree to a certain extent. My logic behind why I say I'm fine with the draw, especially for knockouts, is if you were doing full best of 3 into best of 5 qualifications, I think you will get the actual 1-2 in that 3-0. You will get the proper 7-8 in the 7-8. Like you will get the seeding of it will be accurate to what the tournament meta is. Because like we can come in and say, hey, Genji's the number one team in the world. If they lose a best of 3 prior to that, they ain't the number one team in the world at the moment. Well, they might be in general, but at least for the tournament, when we're structuring it for knockouts, they're not the number one team. They don't deserve it. So I'm fine with the draw happening as it is there, rather than just saying like, okay, if Genji is the number one team coming into it and they go out 3-1 instead of 3-0, they should not be rewarded by magically still being the 1 seed in knockouts. They're not for this tournament. It should be a logical progression.
Sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I meant more so it should be a lot more direct with how.
Oh, okay. Like Worlds is its own evolving
now.
little ecosystem bubble.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Apologies if
think
I didn't make that.
It's
particularly
also tough though, because some of it, there do have to be upsets somewhere. Like you can't just constantly reshuffle people. Like when 100 Thieves beats BLG, like we can't just say, oh, BLG still has to play like an easy opponent. Like at that point, everything is over. You know, like pretty much the integrity of the bracket dies at that point.
That's why the
Because
committee's
now-
perfect.
Consider
to be fair,
like
I think
the team.
I think the integrity of the bracket died when 100 Thieves had to play only Eastern teams, and they happened to only draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eastern teams.
Eastern teams are just like, well, hey, by the way, T1 called in, and they only beat Western teams. Like, they actually didn't draw a particularly hard opponent besides.
Yeah, well,
Gen
you
G,
expect
not-
a Western
not
team
disrespect
though
CFO, but-
draft Eastern teams more.
If the seeding is
Well,
if the seeding's proper,
Not just like
realistically,
if
100
they're
Thieves
going
does
to
play
get
Eastern
in,
teams.
yeah.
Well,
Like,
yes,
because
no, and
realistically, if we're
that's fine.
properly doing it, Flyquest should never play a Western team.
mean,
I'd want to see them only
I'm-
beat Easterns.
I mean, I'm okay with that, but also if the seeding was done the way that at least I am suggesting, I think it should be done.
Mhm.
You get a mix. You're more likely to get a mixed bag through
Oh, okay,
seeding
mix.
anyway. Yeah, you're 100%. You're more likely to get a seeding a mixed bag
'Cause,
of
yeah,
seeding, just because
you
the weight
just-
is based on more of the seeds from the LPL and China
Mhm.
being in that pool 1 berth. So no matter what,
Yeah.
unless you like go down, like let's say in round 1, basically, let's just for argument's sake, you're 100 Thieves, right? I actually had like a little mock-up somewhere because I had to explain this to my friend earlier. It's like 100 Thieves were the 3rd seed, right? In my example, they would have been seeded at the 8th team in the tournament. So they would have played the 9th team in the tournament. Who are the 9th team in the tournament in at least my like little hypothetical? That would be EU 2nd seed.
Mhm.
So they would have played MKOI round 1, right? Because MKOI would theoretically be the 9th best team at the tournament. And had they won or lost, that would then put them in the upper like 1-0 thing. And then at that point, they would have to play a hard opponent, depending on who won now that first draw. Now,
Mhm.
presuming Gen G won their first game, which like they did in real life, then it would have to be Gen G. But then they'll go down to 1-1, and they would more likely have the better seeding in that 1-1 bye compared to a lot of the other teams in the 1-1 bye. Do you
Mhm.
see what I'm saying? So it effectively always kind of balances out through Swiss, and they have the opportunity to upset in these matchups anyway.
I just want to
Yeah.
correct something I'm seeing in chat. Chat's debating like 100 Thieves and like the draw. Look, 100 Thieves played the right opponent in the first round. Period. Like that was an LPL 1 seed versus a
Oh,
North
wait,
America
I
3
actually-
seed. Like that should have happened. The one that we should all look at is like MKOI. Who did MKOI face in round 1? It was a cupcake opponent, wasn't it?
Yeah. So actually, I
Yeah,
just
they
want to
play-
recorrect.
No,
I
they
want to
played
recorrect
KT.
myself. I'm gonna put it in general.
McCoy
Sorry,
got
it's kind of spammy. This was the mock-up of the seeding that I had. I don't know. Good luck getting downstream.
I'm not gonna worry about pulling it up on stream, but looking at that and eyeballing it, that's fair. Although the play-in's a little rough at 16.
That's just the way it has to be, though. I think.
I don't think so. I think once you're in,
So then
you can see it.
T1 has to play Gen G round 1.
Yeah. So this would have been for next year's thing. So it's not even like the teams are 100% locked. You don't know who is going to be the best team.
I think it causes a little too much chaos in it by having them down there. I think like in the same way that like how much do you know college basketball?
Oh, I'm clueless.
Okay, so there's like play-in teams that happen, but you can play in for different seeds, whether it's like a 16 seed or a 12 seed. You slot the Korea 4 seed, China 4 seed as automatic like 8. Like no matter what, like they're 8 or like the lowest seed of the East, but like they fill that slot no matter what, no matter who wins, they go in as that number. I think that's going to be better than putting them at 16th. Because that's going to fuck with the bracket in the same way that we're having issues with now.
Sure.
Also, what happens though with the bracket, because you have South America at 15, NA2 at 8, but the NA2 lost the South. The only reason like 100 Thieves was in the position they were.
This
because they kind of earned it.
This list is a hypothetical 2026.
I see. Okay.
And it's based off the MSI placements. So
honestly, it's tough. Oh, MSI, because it's tough to put South America down there if we're getting beat by them.
This is based off of this list is based off of the 2025 MSI placement.
I get you.
But it would be a hypothetical 2026. So it's like if this year's MSI was next year's MSI.
Yeah, and we also don't know how it's going to work because we're going to have 3 North American teams,
we have no idea.
a Brazilian. Like the number of teams is thrown off now again.
Yeah,
Because I'm honestly thinking
that's the problem.
If 100 Thieves plays the schedule you're talking about, like they play MKOI round 1, beat them, then they go play Gen G round 2. It's not crazy with them playing Hanwha round 3 again, anyways.
No, because a team would have had to have won off of the 0-1 start, who would be a lower seed than them, so they would catch the HLE series.
So they would get an easy team.
Thing is, they are likelier to get an easier team, yes, because they're going to be closer to the middle of the average seed.
But if HLE, let's say like in that one, wouldn't they just get T1 or something?
I mean, you'd have to run an entire.
Because T1 loses to Gen G, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, I think 100 Thieves kind of low key got like. It's obviously a bad draw in this group. They want Team Secret Whales, but Flyquest gets Team Secret Whales, which makes sense. That's our 1 seed for our region, and then our 3rd seed gets Hanwha Life. It kind of makes sense. Now in round 4, they just get hosed by draws, but like at some point. It is the problem with Swiss is always going to be that you can't perfect draw every team to like bail them out because you kind of need the bad teams to get knocked out. And 100 Thieves being a 3rd seed from the 4th best region by technicality is, supposed to get knocked out in Swiss. Like kind of the way Swiss happened makes sense for 100 Thieves. Because this is how it should be. They should theoretically die.
I mean,
Sure.
this is also one of the, and I agree with Healy's point in chat where like I feel like at a certain point we get so deep down the rabbit hole of trying
you
to
can't,
make this
like,
all work
hypothetical the-
that it's like you, kiss it, like keep it simple, stupid, as like easy as we could possibly be.
Yeah.
I do, for me personally, I just don't see an easier way than just teams are locked, have a committee. Committee decides the rank, seed the first pool from there. After that, you know, Riot's going to be Riot. They're going to want some sort of randomness that protects us and insulates us as much as we possibly can, with knowing how they want to also run things and how like their decision making goes. Like that's the only thing in my mind that gives us the best chance at it, while still, you know, giving us the right tools to
I
do
hate
it.
to say it because I think Swiss is a jumbled mess, but when I look at who advanced in the eliminated pool, I don't really feel like it's that bad.
This year, I don't think it was that bad. No.
What year do you think was
don't
the
think I-
worst? If you say 2023, get your EU ass out of here.
Let me see.
Like, because you could put BLG up there, but BLG kind of blew chunks, so they earned their
Low
way out the
key. So
tourney.
2023, yes, but it's not actually necessarily because NRG are there. It's actually a little bit more to do with the fact that LNG are there.
Yeah. And I think the biggest crime last year was TL Flyquest. Like that's just an atrocity.
Yeah, and then last year, LNG. Honestly, LNG again. They had two very disturbing Swiss runs back to back. Like if they make it to Worlds again, which they won't for the foreseeable future, then
Meanwhile, KT gets
yeah.
the mini 100 Thieves version.
yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Like obviously it's very cutthroat. Obviously you're working with, you know, a pool of 16 teams where, you know, realistically 10 teams are incredibly, you know, strong, and you only get to bring, 8 of them forward. But I do feel as though, again, situations where you have, you know, sure, air quotes, good teams lucking out and getting easy draws they would have made it in anyway. It's like, well,
Mhm.
that luck of the draw shouldn't be present for those teams. And the more tenuous draws that are, you know, present for maybe some more unlucky patrons of World to, you know, there's not necessarily a guarantee that they're going to make it into top 8 anyway, but it just feels like they get doomed by the randomness of, you know, the whim of whether or not Baolan Swift his hand left or Swift his hand
Yeah.
right, or, you know, Xie did, you know what I mean? Like, that
Mhm.
part to me, just, it doesn't sit entirely right if we're then going to have also a soft randomly drawn top 8 with no double elimination, right? So it's like, for me, one of these three functions of the tournament has to change, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Yeah,
Swiss
it's
has to be seeded.
just-
Also, just introduce best of 3 for the entire thing. Worlds is 3.5 weeks long. That's a fucking travesty in itself.
Oh, I know.
Um,
It kills me.
top 8
Because it's also
has
so
to-
hard. LNG, like, they didn't. I know we all call them frauds, but they beat BLG and DK. Like, what do you. What
I
can
know.
they do?
I
Just
know.
Did they beat him best of
Perma
one or
give
best of
them
3?
harder games?
They beat BLG in a best of 1, which was super out of character. Like, they
Yeah,
had spent the entire
know.
year and 2023 just getting their cheeks split. Like both
Yeah.
both years, bro. Like it wasn't even. I can't actually recall a close series off the top of my head. Maybe I'd have to really just go through the match history to see. But
Yeah.
my memory of those years was BLG and JDG in 2023 completely dominated LPL domestically, and then BLG dominated LPL pretty much by themselves. They sat on the golden throne the entire fucking year.
Yep.
And no one could touch them. So like losing a best of 1 was a bit out of the blue. And then as for
It
DK,
was.
you know, DK.
DK had a crazy easy, I'll give you, like, Swiss
Yeah, like
to get to their.
they could have, like, you know, and
Yeah.
then to make things worse, their 2-2 draw was like the easiest in my opinion, which might sound like crazy because they're predominantly Western. Weibo were fucking awful. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
that.
I remember that
Wait,
last like they I was praying
listen.
that Flyquest would draw him or Team Liquid would draw him actually because I thought that was a free win.
So not only did they get a pretty easy up to 2-0, they probably should be beating LNG. And then Top Esports, you can kind of forgive them for losing to them. And then Weibo, like, they absolutely have to beat, and they don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like the here's and there's, right? It's like last year, in my opinion, I was called like a crazy person with this. I thought G2 were a top 4 team last year, internationally. Just by raw watching the tape.
We talking
They
full year or
went
just end of the year?
the full year.
Okay, full year. I'll get full year. I can see that argument.
From start to finish. G2 were a top 4 team last year. They spent the entire year pretty much, again,
Yeah, because
the
they got that doomed
explicit-
run, right?
the explicit results of going into the match history and seeing like a series was a 0-3 or whatever does not do justice to the actual play that was going on in those games. But unfortunately, people will have short-term memory, and they'll have very selective memory when it comes to certain teams. And I think people have weirdly done it for last year's G2, which I find very, 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 very strange.
The thing I will say to this is a very common phrase that I use in golf, which is there are no pictures on a scorecard. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
It does not matter how you get it done. It could be the prettiest thing. It can be the ugliest thing. The number's the number. And while this happens a lot in esports where people are like, "Oh, it was a close 3-0," it's still a 3-0. To me, at least, I feel like we over-index a lot in League on quality over, hey, there still is something to be said about getting the fucking job done. And they got the job done. It does not matter how. And there's respect that is garnered on that. Like, if you're struggling and you're still getting it done, that's a good thing in my mind. So I get your point. I do think it's over-indexed a little bit too heavily in the space.
Sure. I'm glad you see it.
I see it.
I do.
It's just
I do, like, as an example to like the T1 side of things. Like, T1 gets very, very overglazed for things that they do, and then subsequently not criticized enough for the bad things they do. And I never see people actually stray the correct like path when talking about T1. It's either they're incredible and they can put no foot wrong, or they're just going through a bad patch right now. You know, like it's okay. Like, they'll pick themselves up. It's like, yes, but we can be honest with ourselves about what we're seeing, and this is more to like to do with the lead up to MSI, and then honestly most of summer, where magically MSI in most people's minds had, now granted by the end of the run, I could understand why people would maybe feel like it, but magically in everyone's minds, T1 were the second best team in the world again. And I don't think like, and I understand, like, they've just made it to second place at MSI.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's a very easy and fair argument to make. But for me, after watching what happened in the road to MSI, they were fortunate to make it to MSI. If HLE hadn't mental boomed, much like we had seen for the rest of prior to that series and them playing each other, there's no reason to believe that HLE were going to lose that series before they got reverse swept.
there's one key
there was
word
no reason to
though.
believe.
There's one key word that
Yes.
you use there. If.
Oh yes,
It's an if,
And
and
that's why-
that there's so many.
That's why sports is incredible.
I-
That's why sports is incredible. But what I'm talking about more is just the raw analytical scope of it. I'm not talking about the narratives. I'm not talking about the storylines.
And I get
Right.
that, but like I get that side of things. I do, because I know, because I listen to you and Dom and all of the crew all the time. So like I understand how you guys get to the assumptions that you do. I am just a big proponent of, like, I was willing to say that T1 was the second best team. Why? Because they got the job done. And in the same way, we're like now coming into this world, like, I understand why people are really down on them. There is no way to explain how T1 turns it on the way they do at Worlds, unless somebody knows the name of the analyst that is single-handedly transforming them the second they hit a Worlds quarterfinal stage.
I personally, I'm of the camp that a big brown, thick envelope hits the first Korean player on the enemy team, which is filled with a lot, a large sum of money. No, I mean, joke aside, they do just have the ability. Like whenever Faker is, well, I say whenever Faker's on the lineup, like he's only been on T1, right? But T1 seems to have Faker seems to have the ability to really rally his players around them, right? Obviously since 2022, like they should realistically be 3-time world champion already right now. Like that should have happened. Whether I agree, especially like because again, 2023, like if we have double Elim, we actually get the real world finals, which should have been BLG versus T1. But alas,
but I'm happy they did.
There we go.
I'm happy they didn't.
I don't know. Like I would argue like T1 probably still would have won that world championship by that time, maybe, right? The reason why I say maybe is I did have a lot of faith in JDG and BLG's ability to adapt to metas. But the fact that BLG lost to Weibo and everyone and their mother knew going into that series, Weibo didn't have a fucking clue. They didn't have a chance. Like there
was one guy. There was one guy at our watch party here in New York that was wearing a Weibo shirt. He wasn't even a fan of the Shy. It was just like he was a genuine Weibo fan with the logo pasted on his shirt because he couldn't order a jersey, and he was sitting here preaching the case. He very quickly got quiet after game 1.
More a chance of seeing Jesus in his underpants than Weibo winning that best of 5 series. Like that it was just outrageously one-sided, and everyone knew it was going to be like that. That bad, maybe not that bad, but pretty bad. And I'm okay with that, ish. If we had double Elim to at least like, I'm okay with that.
Nope.
But yeah, anyways,
I can't give that to you.
Sure, that's we
it's gonna be. I know we're gonna agree to disagree. We're just under different philosophies. I get it.
Yeah,
but it's fun to poke fun at.
No, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, like, and I feel like the reason why I bring up T1 though with that analysis point is because I feel like people are very disingenuous with seemingly only them, and they don't really apply the same logic that they apply to T1 to basically any other good team, like relative to the time.
My question, do you think those people that are applying that logic give a shit about the other teams, or are they T1 fans?
Oh fuck no. They are T1 fans. They do
exactly. I'm never gonna fault a fan of a team that is their team for only ever applying the logic to their own. Their job as a fan of that team is to support one team and one team only.
I would personally, oh my god, voice crack of doom and despair. I would just personally appreciate if there was a little bit more sense coming out of their mouth when they do it. Like, if
the opposite.
I hear, like for me, it's like if I actually hear them say, like, what's the strength of T1 right now? Like, the way that more or less they tend to cross map sometimes. Like, I think their cross mapping is some of the better. It's on the better end of the spectrum for our top teams. If they can say something analytical like that to me, I honestly don't care if they like have a deluded take that follows that. As long as I know that they can comprehend at least one singular real analytical reason why their team is good, I'm happy for them to be delusional. I actually am. But the problem is they are delusional in ways that don't make sense. Like that. Now, obviously, that is the core root of being delusional, right? But that is what at times just kind of drives me a little bit nuts.
But you know whose job that is to correct them?
Unfortunately it's people like myself in my position.
No, it's not. That's the thing. It's not your job. It's the job of Gen G fans, of AL fans, of BLG fans to grow in popularity enough to the point where they have a voice that's loud enough to drown out the delusion. It has to come from their side. It can't always come from the analysts because you guys are going to tend, like, whether you actually are or not, you guys will tend to be more neutral. It takes those fandoms butting head and then the independent people that are watching the two big sides fight it out, picking one side over the other. I don't think you can control that all that much.
No, of course not. No. I don't think we can. Like, there's only a certain level of like actual education that can go on a broadcast, and especially as we kind of get deeper into this co-streamer era and rabbit hole of broadcasting, like there is less and less. I don't want to sound like almost soy on it, but there's actually less and less reason to or necessity to even be like analytically the sharpest in the box.
Oh,
I
dude,
think.
that's like 90% of my brand. Trust me, I know.
But I think I don't think it's as necessary anymore because people just don't care, and it's not like a don't care. Like it's a don't care in a way that to me is like, if it was anything more serious, it would be dangerous. But it's a video game, so it's fine. You know?
I
like-
think it's I'm not gonna say it's healthy because obviously our viewership now, like, that's getting into a whole other
Mhm.
side of things. Delusional fandom is fandom in my mind. Like, I don't give a shit how they argue it, like, or how illogical or fucked up it might be, whether they have a reason or not. If that's enough to get you to tune in and watch, do it.
Yeah.
And I like, somebody will feed into that, and you know what? If that leads to growth for the space, then great. Hopefully, somebody else can not only lead the analytical points, but lead the analytical points in a way that's entertaining. Because a lot of the problem with analysis is that the second you start getting deeper into it, like 90% of people are tuning out. Like, unless they got money on the line, they're tuning out. And it's not as easy for the casual fan to get into versus, like, you know, funny narrative of, you know, world song is called Phoenix. I'm cheering for Phoenix because there's a trend of songs, like bullshit points like that have no logic or rhyme or reason to them. Correlation, versus causation. Like, go with it. Fuck it. Whatever works to get you in.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it in the sense of getting people in the door.
Yeah.
But to me, I would at least appreciate if, even as a casual fan, you can just go, you know, my team is good at this one specific thing, and it's like not a falsehood. You know, it's like if I watch football week in, week out, and I'm I'm an Arsenal fan,
Yep.
right? We
Bless
play
your
some
soul.
of the most we call it harambe. We play some of the most shameful right now kind of football that you can play, which is usually just it's either we're scoring via set pieces or we're scoring, like, I don't know how familiar you are with soccer positions, but get the ball down the wing, get it to the byline, put it in the fucking 6-yard box, and just like pray that your striker is on the end of it. That is the kind of football we play. We don't play any kind of elegant way. The fact that I can describe that, to me, that is basically the baseline of what I want. It's just like, what is your team good at? And you don't give me a fake answer. Like, you don't say something that's just like, I'm not saying like it needs to be detailed. I'm not saying like, oh, specifically they're good at team fighting, and the kind of team fighting that they're good at is the one where they've got multiple flankers and they're coming in from multiple angles and they know how to clap. No, I don't need like a proper true breakdown like that. I just need like, they're good at team fighting, and like and a weakness maybe. It's like, oh, they're not, like, they always fall behind, but like that's what makes them fun to watch. They're always behind, but they're good at team fight. Like, just a small chain of logic that, like, to me, I can go, okay, so this person watches their team and they actually pay attention to habits and trends, and like that is a part of what keeps them hooked as a fan too. If they, like, to me, if they can't identify at least one little thing where that's a constant to their team's like personality, it strikes to me as a compare and an ex-compare. I find that weird. I don't know how you can show up to a sport and not like understand what you're watching.
So I think there's two prongs to that. The first is the people that how are you, like, what is the basis? Like, what is the pool of people that are giving you that impression that you're hoping are doing it? Because my perception is it's the vocal minority, not the majority of the fans.
It certainly could be. And at the end of the day, the problem is, especially through mediums like Twitter, you're never really going to be able to get a gauge for it.
No.
Because of the way that things like algorithms work, right? People are often in echo chambers. So it's like, you know, especially the way that Twitter works now, you will attract the negative of what you want depending on how you approach certain things. So it's like, anytime I brought up T1, and I've been very reasonable and middle road about things that have been going on with that team this year, the perception is from the T1 fan base is always very negative. And it's like, hey, in just example tweet, I'm not actually verbatim saying one out, but it's like, I'll say, hey, this, like, I'll praise the team for this. I am surprised that this was happening after this struggle. And then they'll focus on the struggle, like, why are you bringing up the struggle? Why can't you just say that they're good? Like, why? And I think that and those kind of interactions, as they happen more frequently, if I'm talking about those kind of teams, then bleed into the more analytical string of conversations that I'm bringing up and highlighting now, where it's like, I will say something like unequivocally true. Like, it cannot be wrong. It is what we saw happen on the screen.
Yeah.
And someone or multiple people will come out the woodworks and be like, no, you are wrong. This is why. And everything they say after that is just a lie.
Oh, well, I mean, that I'll tell you what,
that is
we both know why that happens though. Because
Yeah.
it's fine for me to insult my team, but it's not okay for you to say it about them.
Oh,
And there's a protection level to that, which is it fair? No, but I do it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I do it with C9 fans. Like C9 fans try and come out and, you know, well, RIP 100 Thieves, my team's fucking gone now. You know, fuck me. But like C9 fans tried to come out and say, oh, you know, certain things are wrong with 100 Thieves, and I wouldn't sit here and admit that they were right. Like, I know they're right. I know every single word that they're saying is right. I'm just gonna troll the shit out of them. Why? Because you're a C9 fan. Go fuck yourself. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's part of the rivalry here. Like, I'm not giving you an inch. I'm not allowing you to think that you are right for a single moment. Why? Because I've made up in my mind that you are my enemy, period. And that's it. But that's all. That's sports fandom at its core.
And as a, I don't want to call myself an old head. That makes me feel really old. But as at a point in time serious football fan, yeah, like that to me feels right. That feels correct. Like, yes, you're gonna shithouse your direct like rivals / competitors, but this isn't even that. Like, this to me is more of a neutral discussion.
What's neutral to you might not be to them, though.
Of course, no, of course, because it's the subject matter is their team, so it's not going to be neutral to them.
Yeah.
And the stance is always going to be like defend first. Like, you know, if I support I support Arsenal. If I hear we got a red card, my first instinct isn't necessary. Well, mine usually is actually, okay, what did the fucking idiot do? It's gonna be, well, there's no way that should happen for like most people. Like, what could have led to that? As in, from the perspective of, there's no way that should happen. Why did it happen? And I bet it shouldn't have happened. And that is like the thought process of a lot of people in that like specific vein of that example.
I think for
Yeah.
T1 though, it's tough because they have like 5 titles. So like people with T1 are going to be a bit more graceful and around worlds because they don't have to be good the rest of the year. It's like any team turning it on. I mean, you're a football fan with football, we'll call it that, but they have like 10 tournaments a year that you could possibly win. So you're not like thinking the way a NFL fan thinks, you know? Like, we are thinking, okay, the Super Bowl is all that matters. League has the same system as soccer, you know? We have like 4 tournaments, whatever, that you can win, that you can qualify for, whatever, throughout the year. And you could win in this part of the year, but not that part of the year, and you're still pretty happy with how it went. And League is kind of that same way, but for most fans you're probably conversing with on that are like NA fans who are sitting there going, well, we have SEC championships, we have divisional winners, we have all this, but if you turn it on at the Super Bowl, you won. The rest of it doesn't matter anymore. Like the Super Bowl, the college football playoff championship, that's where you won. So when T1 wins that, like, that's why people are being so like, oh, it's okay. They lost MSI, they lost LCK twice or 3 times these days, because Worlds is Worlds. You win Worlds, who cares?
I mean, when your CEO is saying it, like, bluntly, when Joe Marsh comes out and is like,
Yeah.
the only thing that I give a shit about. I mean, in his words, he's like, I don't even give it. We could miss first stand. I'm fine with that. If anything, that gives us rest. All that matters is that new star on the jersey. That's it. How you get there, shit. Doesn't matter if you fucking win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally hear like a lot of the stance / argument behind it. I for one will always be the person or the kind of person that can very happily acknowledge like if a team won the tournament, they won the tournament. Like that is the bottom line. Like the results will do the talking, and usually they're pretty spot on. They're pretty accurate with and representative of what that year looked like or what that tournament looked like. But I always try to be the guy that acknowledges and understands that that team was, you know, the strongest or the best. But I will be damned if I forget the teams that, you know, in circumstances where we have this kind of slightly shagged format where Swiss is not seeded properly, and then top 8 is single elim, and like the draw is based on the unseeded Swiss. Like I'm gonna like to
I
me,
don't know.
and like you brought up, HLE are not the 5th to 8th team at this tournament. They're not. They're
Yeah.
a top 4 team. Like they are 100% a top 4 team. They've demonstrated throughout the entire year that they have been top 3 inside of the LCK. The LPL is very clearly behind the LCK this year as well.
Yep.
They should be a top 4 team, but they drew Gen G. They weren't able to win in the most important series of the year. They're a 5th to 8th team. And there will unironically be people that remember them as a 5th to 8th place team.
Yeah.
There will be people that will attempt to have a real conversation and say to you, let's say hypothetically T1 beat AL but then lose in semis.
Yeah.
There will be a legitimate set of people that will try to say to you that throughout more of the year, T1 were a better team.
Yeah, then
When-
you just hit him with
for
the
more-
you hit him with
for
the
more-
mute button and
for-
you move
for more-
on.
I
That
know,
wouldn't
I know, I
be
can
that
do that, but-
crazy of a statement, though.
But no, and this,
T1
this
made
circumstance-
MSI
Yes,
finals.
yeah, exactly. By results, you have a strong argument to go on there. You
Yeah.
do like you do have a strong argument, and I'm not. That's why I'm not trying to say like it's
Oh,
it's not
okay.
the most egregious example I could bring up, but it's more to the point of T1 showed up for the better part of MSI was what 2.5 weeks this year, so they showed up for and actually play-ins took up the first fight, so they showed up for 2 weeks, and then they took a bit of a holiday for 4 months, and
Well, then
then
they qualified
showed up
to
again
the
for 3.5
LCK
weeks,
tourney.
right?
Yeah.
Whereas
In the
HLE
LCK
have-
tourney.
Yeah. But whereas to me
Yeah.
though, there's more credence, and maybe I'm in the minority, and I'm happy to stay in the minority. I don't care about that. Is HLE won the LCK in winter?
Oh.
They won first stand. They were a top 3 team in spring. They realistically were probably the better team than T1 going into MSI, but they were very clearly mental boomed in the after the reverse sweep, and that's fair.
Mhm.
That's like that can happen to any team. They didn't qualify to MSI because of that, and there's no shame in there is no shame in that whatsoever.
Yeah.
And what T1 did with that opportunity is an incredible story and an incredible narrative. And had they won MSI, I would personally say that might be one of the fastest team turnarounds to an international title in this decade, if not the
Nah,
only.
DRX will
It
always
might be the
DRX
fastest.
has that. Come on.
I guess DRX, yeah, DRX. So it'll be the
I-
second. It would
yeah.
be the second.
Sure,
but
but
then
well,
again,
what about
it may-
summer? How did HLE do against T1 during
Hey,
summer?
HLE were the second best team.
No, that's in playoffs. I'm saying throughout the course of summer.
It's crazy.
They got their ass
Not
beat
you,
by T1
Jack
multiple
guy.
times.
They did, yeah. They
Yeah, so
lost
wait, so-
the best
Well,
of they
but
lost the best of
I
they lost the best
no,
of
I definitely
2 both
see what you-
times in the best of 3.
I see what you're
both times, yeah,
saying.
sure.
like that you can go by a time based, but it's
Yes,
like
yes,
it's
yes,
tough
yes.
because in sports, like it's so we have to kind of be results based. Like we don't have to be, right? Like I can remember
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Pacers' whole last season, even though they didn't win a championship, and a lot of people will, and they'll be like, "Yeah, that was great," but at the end of the day, like they will also remember that the Pacers came up short in the finals, and that is the reality of it. And then sadly, the way sports is, and with single elim, it can be a very blunt force trauma way is that Hanwha like lost early. Unfortunately, yes, because of
Yeah.
how seedings are, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like you kind of have to live with it because not everybody can have like the picture perfect like setup. Like we could have gave, I guess,
Of course.
Genji top and then Hanwha G2 or like Hanwha Kate Flying Oyster, right? And make it as easy as possible to make sure they all get to their rightful place. But it's also like okay to just live with like, hey, we know Hanwha did a good job
Yeah,
this year. We know they had good
yeah. No,
moments. I mean, they
of
And
won
we know Zeus
probably,
is a
I would say,
fraud.
the most. They
of
won the
course, but
most
it's why
fraudulent tournament, if I'm being real. Like in first stand,
yeah, no,
like I don't
they did.
think
Yeah,
anybody takes first stand
no
too.
one takes first stand seriously, and they shouldn't. In
Yeah,
its current form, they absolutely shouldn't.
and then
Um,
with MSI, it's like they. I mean, they could have had a great season in LCK Spring,
mm,
but at the end of the
yeah,
day, they didn't make it. So it's
they
hard
did
to
make it.
like
Yeah, no,
give
I
them
can I can agree, but this
give
is why
them
I'm
like
saying for me, I'm the gameplay guy. Like I'm
yeah.
gonna I like I'm my stance is not to ignore results. It's to acknowledge what got us to those results, regardless of what the journey was
Yeah,
inside of those results,
celebrate the
right?
game. Yeah.
Yes. So that's
Yeah.
why for me it's important to bring up. But again, like the whole point of the kind of final section of what you're talking about there is why I kind of separate the problem with the world's format into these three kind of partitions of Swiss isn't seeded, which is its own problem, and then
Mhm.
Swiss not being seeded into a top 8 draw uh, is going to lead to lopsided sides of the tree, right?
Yeah.
Um, which I don't think is necessarily the best possible experience for all involved. By the way, like I think there are ways to get
Yep.
a more competitive tree pretty consistently.
Yeah.
And then if it's gonna be in its current format, like if there's no changes, best of 1 for the first 2 rounds, best of 3 to qual, every single time, top 8 is drawn, then in my opinion, there should be double elimination. And the way that I think there isn't double elimination is if everything before that is fixed. If everything before that is fixed, I don't care. Then double elim doesn't need to be there, and we can be cup 3, have top 8, like no qualms, no problems. But I don't think we can have everything be shagged in this setting at the world tournament. It doesn't feel
You say
right.
not everything can be, but
Still
last time I
was.
checked, none of us here have any say. Like we can raise hell on it, but we got no say at the end of the day. Riot will do
I think
whatever
you can
they
also
do.
still respect the result.
I-
Like it's
I-
still, I don't feel any like, I don't feel like the right team isn't winning worlds because of the way things happened. I feel like maybe I would have to reshape who the team is to make it fit in your parameters. Like I'd have to say the most what would you call them? The most like adversity reactive team won worlds.
Mm.
The one
Yeah.
that was willing to stand up to the most resilient. The most
Definitely.
resilient team won worlds.
Mhm.
I would still say the best team won worlds because at the end of the day, it's whichever team beat everybody else the most
Sure.
times. I mean, they still have to be the best of something. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know. Even if we clean it up, I'm not going to be like, oh man, now that we've cleaned it up, these actually mean something to me. Like, I still think they all count. They all
Yeah,
mean
no.
something.
Nothing
They're
would
still
count less.
competitive.
Yeah. Nothing would count less. I
Yeah.
mean, I've got to hop out, so
No, I appreciate you
Okay,
coming
yeah.
in,
I
man.
can't stay. But my one final thing I'll definitely say on the double elim, because bracket resets are not a possibility. In logistically, they can't happen, especially if it ends up being a
They
final
can make it
series.
happen if they want to.
They-
If they can make
but
double elim happen, they
tell
can make a
I'll
bracket reset happen.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, they won't make it happen. There's too many things that they would have to do to make it happen.
Oh, we're both on the best of
We can
7.
make
Give them a
17 innings of baseball
yeah.
happen until 3
Best
a.m.
of 7.
Eastern.
best of 7. Give a game.
Yeah, best
Yeah.
of 7 give a game. That's the cleanest break you can get.
I'm willing to bet that gets trialed at MSI next year. That was my prediction earlier before you
Oh.
hopped on. Is I think MSI is still like even though it's considered the better format from many, I still think it's very much a testing ground. Next year, I think it's going to be the first year that they try it out. to see can they incorporate that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. All right. I hope that's the case. I've got to hop out. Much love. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, boss. Appreciate it.
No problem. Take it easy.
Well, that obviously went on way longer than I was.
Yeah. There was a moment I almost just started watching YouTube videos because I was like, you guys were talking about is T1 like are T1 fans allowed to just not care about anything but T1? And I was like, yes. And I completely checked out and started watching YouTube videos. I was like, I don't care.
I know you don't. It was one of the like that's the narrative point right up my alley where it's like that's my type of
I know.
like that's my argument for a lot in
I
esports
know.
where it's like, you know, I'm gonna sit there because I know
And he battles T1 fans much more than I ever
that's
will.
I know him, Dom, like that whole crew. They're on like the same wavelength of like
He had
gameplay matters, all this matters. Like you got to explain shit to fans, and like fans need to appreciate. Fans don't. I'm under the understanding. I know you're under the understanding. Fans don't need to give you shit. They ain't got to say anything. They can troll you till the
incredibly
end of time.
interesting double elim takes though. I
Yeah.
liked it. I really loved his take. You either fix Swiss or you give it double elim to fix it. Both are fine.
I mean, I agree. I think it's easier
I
to
think
fix Swiss.
that's fine. Yeah, I think it's way easier to fix Swiss too. I still stand by though, like I don't ever really, except G2, I guess they truly got screwed. But I think it's more rare than it is like a constant thing that there's teams getting screwed that hard. If you're gonna win, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
But I know that that at the end of the day is an American sports culture thought.
Yeah.
Like we're NFL fans, and NFL fans, in the NFL, you're not given all the stuff. You know what happens in the NFL? When you get a bad draw, your team goes 10 in like 7. You're incredible. And then some junk team goes like 9 and 8. And then you know what you do? You fly a plane all the way up north into the snow and lose to them in a game that you would never lose because God is good and football is real. And men go out there and fight each other to death. And you lose that game. You watch your team lose it and you're like, we shouldn't even be here. We had a better record. And you're like, what's happening? And you lose it. Everything's stacked against you. And you get so mad at football. And then you're right back in. A
Yep.
week later, you're watching playoff football of other teams, maybe even the team that beat you. You're hate watching them now, and you're just chilling. Because that's how football goes. When league people are like, dude, I feel like they just had a tough environment. I'm like, you know what's a tough environment? Philadelphia. 10 degrees outside. You're taking Matthew Stafford out there with a bad back and hoping he doesn't die on the football field. That's a tough environment. Not stinking, what is it? Oh, one of our players broke his ankle and he has to sit with a broken ankle while he plays League. That's such a tough thing to overcome. Okay. Boo-hoo. Matthew Stafford plays with a broken shoulder. Getting hit.
Carson
by
Wentz nearly
beasts of
died
men.
this last week.
Yeah.
Like we literally nearly watched a man die
Yeah.
in front of us, and you know what? He was like, "That was a dream of mine. I've always wanted to do that."
He cried because it was over, not
Yeah.
because of the journey.
I gotta get
That's
season-ending
the
surgery. Fuck.
It just kills me. It's like, bro, I get it sucks. Some things suck and your draw can suck. But like, you think the teams in March Madness didn't feel like it kind of blew and their draw was tough when 8 seed North Carolina runs through them all to a Final Four? Like, you're like, what is happening? We were supposed to get the bad blue blood, and then it ends up being a Final Four blue bloods again. Like, sometimes life just sucks.
Yeah.
And teams just kind of cook. It is what it is. I mean, I do agree though with him 100% that it's like, it is sad that Hanwha Life will be remembered as a bad team in that way. But at the same time, like that is the beauty of him and Dom's position. Like they get to create this story
Yeah. And
of why Hanwha mattered.
I know he had to go. The thing that I wanted to press on, but this gets a little personal and it would have been way too long. It's for a different day, but it's like, you know, when you talk about wanting to instill those points, well, we're the content creators here. If you want to instill those points, like it's our job to do so. And if you're not able to get those points across, you're either A, not being effective with the message that you put out, B, the message that you're putting out people don't want to hear, or C, you're preaching it to deaf ears. Which when you're talking to T1 fans, let's be honest, like you're talking to deaf ears. They're hearing what they want to hear. And if you want to be able to prop it up, it's like, okay, you know what? Become that voice. Have that influence. Find a way to get up there in the same way that somebody like Cadril is able to for Los Ratones, or Abai is able to do for MCoy, or Kometo's able to do for K Corp. Like if that's the route you want to go and you want to preach those points, get your voice out there. We are content creators. Our platform is our voice. Like that's our job. So.
No, I totally agree with that. That's facts. Because it is, at the end of the day, it's like it's not like completely disparaging somebody's run, and the format doesn't need to change just so that every team that played well throughout the year, we can make sure that they placed high enough to be remembered correctly.
Yeah. It's your job to make you. It's your job as a team to make sure that we remember you.
Yep, and sports is often unfair.
Yep.
But quite often, injuries happen. Players get the yips. Whatever happens, and you know what? That sucks, and that's why it's fun. That's why we all come back, because it sucks. If you don't have the bad times, then what's the point of the good times? Like, you got to remember something when your team starts winning.
Nope.
I mean, we're in our current dynasty, possibly. So I get to remember the bad times and be in the good times. It's not my fault. The Colts are in their dynasty. Shopify is about to get inspired and possibly
shut the
quit.
fuck up.
There's a lot of good things happening for me. And I'll remember those other teams.
Meanwhile, my QBs are possibly dead and my team in league doesn't exist. Yeah, let's...
And my QB was on your roster with another QB who took you to a 14-win season.
I'm so fucking done, man. I can't.
But it is tough because it's like, I don't know what you do, because only the fans of that team will really care.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's
not
fine.
every... Like, you can't make everyone be like, good job, Hanwha. Like, if I don't care about Hanwha, I just don't care about him.
No. And that's where...
I really like Ruler, and I'm happy that Ruler's still going on. There's a lot of people who really like Viper, and you know what? It sucks to suck. You could have liked Ruler and liked a way better player. But now you're at home. So, and I'm supposed to feel bad and write you a story, or think in my head you want me to go, I really just hope we could have had to beat them twice. That would have been the right thing to do. I don't think that at all.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're gone.
For Zeus, I hope that bag was worth it, brother. I hope those days where you were, min-maxing contracts one way or the other, I hope it was worth it.
Yep.
Because guess
that
what?
was nice to have him on.
I wasn't expecting him to join. I'm happy he did. I like picking his brain on shit because I know
it was a good deferring opinion.
It was. It was nice because we weren't all in agreement. I mean, for the most part, we all agree that Swiss needs to be revamped, but ideologically, we are. It made my day when he's like, "You guys have a very American mind frame," and I'm thinking, "Fuck yeah, we do. Hell yeah, let's go."
When he said football multiple times talking about soccer, I was like, "I'm gonna freaking punch through the screen, dude! If you keep doing this, it's soccer, buddy. It's not. There's one football." I was like, this is killing me. Not actually for legal reasons. I wasn't going to punch him through the screen. Because I do need to get possibly on. I want to be your cameraman at some point in life for a good series. So I need Ryan to let me in. But
Healy, no, don't cuckroll him yet. If he does anything in the server that's worthy of being in the cuckroll at some point, we will. But on the podcast, he didn't say it in the server itself. You can't cuck
Yeah.
somebody for something that is said like on the live stream. Not, it's in. I'm making the rule that anything that's said on this podcast specifically does not count towards cuck chair. It's only things that are said in the Discord itself, or if you're in lounge talking. But like podcast conversations and content conversations, I'm excluding from that. So, all right, this went on for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It did.
All right,
did.
well, the Razer ad's going to wait until tomorrow, but I will announce it here on this stream for those that might be new around here. This, my friends, is a brand new keyboard. This is the Razer Huntsman V3 Pro 8K that was just announced and just revealed today. It is out. I will have the full unboxing, the full video talking about a few things. I'm not great on the technical aspects of stuff. Obviously, I will have like some of that in there on the TikTok. But massive shout out to Razer. I reached out to them whenever League was going to be getting WASD, and I was like, hey, you know, if I'm going to be using my keys more, looking for a new keyboard, and I can promo your stuff with it. And they're like, bet. Actually, wait a minute, we're going to be dropping a new product. Hold up, let us send you the new thing. So they sent that out to me. Massive shout out to Razer for this. Now my keyboard and my mouse are both Razer, which is really kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me happy. You know what logo is on the box of the Razer keyboard?
Team 1.
No. Well, that too, but not the important one. The green
What?
wall, baby. Optic Gaming. Front and center on there.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. So, keys more where you are not using your keys as much before. You are definitely in WASD movement. You are using your keys way more than clicking a mouse. What are we talking about here? But
Okay.
I'm gonna see how that goes. Maybe I'll hit diamond with it. But all right, that's gonna be it for us, folks. We've talked long enough. I'll catch you all later. I'll have a video out. Good Morning North America tomorrow that possibly highlights part of this podcast as part of it. That might be like a fun section to include in there. But I will catch you all around. Bye bye.